Hello, everybody. Welcome to People in the Boxes. It's Thursday night again. We are getting that quick share out time. Going to do a 10-minute counter tonight. Let me put it on before we start the show. We thought we'd try something a little different this time. If you guys are coming in, definitely share us out. Tag people. Waiting for my phone to refresh so I got to figure out this privacy thing. It automatically sets it to private when I go from StreamYard to my profile.
Really?
Yeah, so right now it's still private, but... Oh, come on. The button's not clicking for me for some reason. Seriously. I just had to close Facebook because the buttons weren't clicking. It's always when you need something. Privacy. But we are on YouTube and Twitch tonight. Not Twitch, Twitter. I mean, I'm actually thinking about Spotify. With Rogan and stuff, Spotify might be a good place for us to look at pushing out there too, because Twitter is not necessarily a podcast platform. So a lot of podcasters on it, of course. But okay, we're shareable now. Okay, sharing. What's up, Elisa May? Help us share it out if you don't mind. We got that 10-minute counter. There's comments up there. Yeah.
That's a different feature too. I have the actual comments up right now on my regular screen.
Oh, right. You didn't see that before?
No, before I had to have my comments up on the other screen.
That's good.
Or I could only have the comments up or the picture up. You know what I'm saying? So that's nice. We got 1 thumbs up reaction. We got 5 people here. Make sure to hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button.
I joined a few podcast groups, but I can't remember which ones are okay with me sharing into it and stuff. One of them, I think, is gone now. It's weird. Okay, well, I'm just sharing it to a few of them. We'll see what happens. Got 5 minutes. Good. This 10 minutes is a lot better than 5. It was so difficult.
Like, share, and follow Elisa Love.
You're a little early on your shameless promotion there, Elisa. Wait till more people show up, and then you can plug it. I've already liked it. What's Elisa Love all about? Tell us while we're waiting.
Yeah.
Tag some people while you're telling us about it.
He says, let me come up then.
Good call.
That I don't have access to.
Good call, Lisa May. You got it. You got a point there.
Oh, I did. Oh, I can invite guests.
Cool. I mean, you don't have to right this minute.
Send
I'm on the way.
link
But
to your guests. Oh, I can copy and send it. Nice.
I like to just pin it in the comments on Facebook.
Nice.
Paste. There it is. And it's pinned. Go. 4 minutes left. Let me change this music. Sorry, I only have too many. I only have two hands. There we go. I need to get some different music switched out too. I like his music. I just hear it so many times, you know. Beats by Jay Frost, everybody, in case you're wondering.
Nice.
Let's see, who else haven't I shared to? I need to start tagging people. Somebody made me an admin of a group today, and I don't even know what the group is. It's got like 30 people in it. That's kind of happens here and there.
Yeah, Kathy, sex addiction is definitely a thing.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Lisa May, what's up? You got 3 minutes to tell us, give us your plug.
Well, I'm Lisa May, and my page is Lisa Love, and I'm nobody, but you should still like, follow, and share. But
cut that part out and say the rest.
That's the rest.
No, I mean, cut.
What do we get over at Lisa Love?
Nothing.
Nothing.
What?
What
My
the
bubbly
hell?
personality.
Terrible at
My
this.
bubbly personality.
Okay.
My friendly, high self. No.
How
just
often do you
follow
go live over there?
me. Well, you might encourage me to go live if you follow me.
Okay.
Find out the rest.
Yeah, like he said, follow me to find out the rest.
Good one.
See,
Yeah.
there you go. That's why you got a fan there. Ooh, I meant to. Yeah, I need to
Yeah,
Got a bunch
that
of
is
people
why I
to
got
tag
Joe
here.
Pro.
tag some people for me, guys. Tag them.
Oh yeah, Josephine. That is who I got. He probably belongs on your show tonight.
Maybe. Was he a panty fiend?
Maybe.
What's up, Steve?
No, he used to be a heroin addict though. And one day I got a phone call from a friend and they said, "Did you know your boyfriend's out here asking for heroin?" And I said, I didn't believe him. Like, no, what the fuck? That's not possible. And then after I sat at work 3 hours thinking about it, it's like, how'd you miss all the signs? And then I went home and I told him pretty much he has to leave or get help. Because I didn't want him around my kids like that. I didn't want him
Makes sense.
watching my kids. So his mom found him a detox center, the Freedom Program. And I dropped him off there. Then he went to detox for a week. They put him on Suboxone. He did rehab outpatient after that for a while.
All right, guys. Let's do the
But
intro.
the triggers are always there.
Oh yeah.
Countdown begins.
That's the truth. That's what's up. But I love them either way, so.
Hey. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Thursday evening, and the people in the boxes is going to be great tonight. You may notice some changes. I trimmed my eyebrows a little bit shorter this week, you guys. It's they're feeling nice and light. It's great. Let me know if it looks straight to you guys. People in the boxes, episode 21. Can you believe it? 21 episodes. It's been great. We have a really exciting one tonight. We have a few people hanging out already in our boxes, and we'll pull them up in just a second. I just want to remind everybody that we are on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter right now, just in case you guys can find me over there. And we're going to be expanding, I think. We have some good topics coming up, and tonight's topic is no exception. So without further ado, let's pull up our boxes before we talk about the topic, you guys. The topic being, well, I almost wanted to pull you guys up before we said it, but we're talking addiction tonight, guys. We've been advertising for a few days, and we got Mr. Jason and Miss Elisa May already hanging out with us. Jason, how you doing, man?
Good, Waylon. Good. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Not bad, not bad. You know, I'm getting mixed reviews on my handlebars here, you guys. It's not a life choice, I promise. It was just for fun, and this will probably be the only time you see it tonight. But it's kind of funny. I feel like Sam Elliott or something like that. Burt Reynolds meets Junkyard Dog. I don't know. I'm not quite sure yet, but it's all funny. It's all good. We don't want to keep it too heavy. I thought about this earlier, and I was like, I want to say something along the lines of I encourage humor, but then we would end up having people that go too far and go above the, past the line on these topics, as far as humor goes. I want to keep it, light as far as most of these subjects can be kind of serious. And, we are sharing together to make it, more palatable and make you guys feel like you're not alone, and this is definitely one of those subjects all of us have some personal experience with. And, let me just, Elisa May. Go ahead, Elisa May. We got 15 lovely folks in here. How are you doing? First of all, doing good? Good. Elisa May opened up a new page, you guys. Elisa Love, right?
Yep.
Elisa Love. It reminds me of Buddy Love, Professor Buddy Love on The Nutty Professor. Remember Eddie Murphy? He was Buddy Love. Anyway, so go check her out, guys. Elisa Love. Hey, Elisa, you need to change your name on here. Anytime you're up on StreamYard, if you want to promote that, put your name, see how my name is. It's like, yeah, and Jason's is. Throw it in there. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I did look up some things, but I want to point out addiction isn't just about drugs, guys. And that's where most people kind of went straight up. Hey, Colt Montgomery in the house. Hey, what's up, buddy? I did invite him on the show. If you would like to come up, that link in the description is how you get into StreamYard. And if you want to click it, it should send you to a screen where you can just copy that link and put it anywhere you want. And I think there's an option on that same screen just to go into like I think it's Safari or something. But yeah, I got a lot of people in the house, guys. I appreciate all the comments and love. Got Dale in the house with the World Stoners Lounge. Got D Sandoval. Everybody's in the house. I appreciate it. We won't be reading too many comments just at first. Just remember, we want to mostly get those experiences shared out on the screen and talk about it and discuss it. And then I want to start getting us to where we do a a lot of the audience questions or audience stories towards the end if you don't want to come on the screen. So because we can
definitely feel free to talk about yourselves amongst yourselves in the comments. You guys share them experience, talking the comments with each other. We will be reading them as we go along. So he's not saying that we're not going to read them at all.
I guess I should reiterate. What I mean is if we are deep in conversation on the screen, we can't stop and, take every hello and every, addition to it. But you're right. We do want to take all the big stories and the real topic, oriented comments. And I don't know. I guess
in all seriousness, Waylon, is it the females or is it the males that aren't happy with the mustache? Because I think it looks great myself.
I'll give you two guesses.
So I'm pretty sure it's the ladies that aren't happy with it.
You'd be right.
Okay. So we're drawing right down the line 50-50.
Elisa May, you're the only female on screen. Not my best look.
Did you like the beard, Elisa?
Some girls might like that type of mustache. I don't know.
I have a hard time feeling that any girl is going to hit me up and say, man, I'm digging that. Gotta keep that.
She might.
Keep the Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, keep Burt. Well, I mean, I could trim up.
You got the glasses, right? If you got the glasses, right? I mean, you got to have the glasses to go along with it. And Smokey and the Bandit, ladies and gentlemen. Smokey and the Bandit.
Listen.
We go 10-4. We got him up coming around the corner there. Can I get some trucker love over here? Can I get somebody to stop that little old smuggler?
You ladies want to know why I did it?
Somebody is going to toot your horn.
You want to know why I did it? It's funny. That's why. Because it's funny. If you ever seen the Norm Macdonald version of Burt Reynolds on Saturday Night Live, he's like, name's Turd Ferguson. Anyway, that's off topic.
Very good.
So, but I mean, that kind of leads to an addiction in itself, right? I grew up on TV. Parents put me in front of the TV. There's my babysitter.
Yes, it was a different time for us.
Yeah, man, and like commercials, they're still in my head from as a kid, and yeah, for sure. Fire in the hole in the house. Bean did allude to coming up and sharing his story. Thanks, Bearded. It's a temporary lapse in permanent judgment, but it's gonna be here for a couple days. Maybe just tonight. I'm gonna baby face it tomorrow, and then the next day you guys will see a beard again. So don't worry about it. But yeah, see, at least some people love it. You know what I mean?
I think it looks great.
So, guys, addiction. It's a topic. It's a serious topic. We don't have to just, go through it too dryly. I'm hoping I get a lot of feedback, and Jason definitely gives me a lot of feedback on this show. I want you guys to let me know if you think, hey, that was that flowed well, or hey, that was just a little dry on the information and that kind of thing. I try to balance it out, and so yeah, I want this show to be something of a group therapy, but also a fun, hangout session, right? Anyway, I think we got Mr. Colt Montgomery on his way up, and I'm pretty sure Mr.
Speaking of addiction, this is a marijuana, and I am addicted to marijuana. We're
going to talk about that because in the title I put, many things can be considered an addiction, but then in the description I said, is there a such thing as a good addiction? Can addictions be good? I think there is. I think there are situations, definitely like worse of two evils kind of situation. There are healthy addictions, which is okay. So maybe, and this is where I wanted to split the hairs, because I don't think it's an addiction if you're actually doing it in moderation, like you should, like exercise or, going to church. You could probably do both of those things in excess, and then you'd call it addiction. So I'm going to look up the definition just so we're all on the same page.
If you can't go without it, then you are addicted to it. Like tanning, that's another bad thing I'm addicted to.
Right. That's a good one. Now, I think there's some differences in our terms here, because it says, let me pull up addiction here. You okay, Joe? I hear you hacking up a lung back there, buddy. No, he said. All right. Okay. Where am I? Here it is.
Gorilla Glue.
Addiction, guys. The fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity, which is basically what we thought it was. I thought maybe there'd be some specifications, but no, I guess that makes sense. Cravings, habits, weaknesses, compulsions, dependencies. So that's interesting because I thought that it was going to depend or going to say that you're dependent on the thing, but this is just the fact or condition of being addicted. That doesn't tell me the definition, does it? It's got the root word in the definition. So okay, definition of addicted. How about that? Look through these. Okay, addicted. Physically and mentally dependent on a particular substance and unable to stop taking it without, screen's too big, without incurring adverse effects. Oh, okay. This changes some of our thoughts, I think. Because with sex, what's the adverse effect? Like your withdrawal? I mean, there's not a physical withdrawal from sex. Is that? I mean,
there can be, though.
Well,
there definitely can be. It can take a toll on certain people if they are addicted to it, and addiction is a disease. I feel it is, you know. It can definitely take a toll on your body. Yeah, that's where the factor in you lose it if you don't use it. You know,
right?
It had to come from somewhere. So,
What I keep telling Lee.
That's my dinner, you guys. Got a smoothie in the house. It's delicious.
Waylon, they're having problems with the link.
Oh.
Colt says, "Can you send me a DM invite, Waylon?"
Dude, I don't even see the link anymore. Is it this? No, it's still there. Okay. But yeah, I'll send you one for sure, buddy. I invited you, so Bean said he was going to come up, but he might be a busy man. Let me find you there, Colt. Got too many. Ah, there it is. Yeah, I definitely tagged some other Colt Montgomery and couldn't find you. It wouldn't show me you on the list. I hate the tagging. I don't understand with Facebook. Half the time you can't even tag someone that you know you're friends with, and it's just ridiculous.
Thank you, Heather, for the 50 stars. Appreciate
Heather,
that very, very much.
Oh, that reminds me, Heather and Charlene and Lisa May and Joe and everybody that gives me stars ever. The stars that I'm going to write them down, the stars from today's show. So Charlene, another 50 stars. Thank you very much, love. I'm going to write it down each show. And I'm going to start dividing these up amongst people who participate on a regular basis. Jason would be the only one at the moment that I could for sure say. I'm trying to think of some kind of parameters, I guess, to meet so that monthly I divide up the stars that come from on this show during the show, and that goes to people who are on the show and helping me out and stuff.
That's awesome, buddy. That's awesome.
Oh, there it is. So far, we've got 100. So it's hard. It doesn't always keep track through at the end. So it gives me like a weekly total or whatever. Yep. So I want to keep it separated.
That's nice.
Well, yeah. I just came up here to mess around, really. I got to go to work, though.
I know you did, but you don't have any. You're addicted to tanning booths. That's all you can give us? Okay. I'll take it.
Thank you, Dale, for the 100 stars. Okay. Appreciate that, buddy.
Thanks, Dale.
Jeremy just sent 30 stars. Appreciate that, guys.
Weed, too. Weed and tanning.
All right. Just shout out your page again and get out of here.
All right. Peace out. I'm Lisa Love. Follow, like, and share me. Thanks, Stoner friends.
Bye, Lisa. Bye, Lisa. Have a great one.
I left this screen open because this is the definition that we're sort of thinking of. It's informal, it says. Enthusiastically devoted to a particular thing or activity. He's addicted to computers. Yeah, I've been addicted to video games, pornography, these things that are all shooting dopamine into your brain, just like Facebook, just like apps and, your phone. It's all definitely, we talked about on the healthcare episode, the dopamine that's getting shot through your face all the time.
Thank you for another 50, Heather. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Yep, I'm gonna try and stay on top of it. If it becomes an issue, I might have to figure something else out, but it's okay.
Oh, that's what you got me here for.
Right. No, I appreciate it. Nobody else wants to come up and talk about addiction, guys? I mean, you don't have to. Jason and I could talk probably for days about any topic, any subject out there. So we're good. But yeah.
I'm not scared. I'm a recovering alcoholic.
Okay.
I was addicted alcoholic.
Oh, wait, you just started. So before you get into it, we want to introduce our friend here.
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry. Yep. What's up, Colt Montgomery? I met Colt on Clapper, everybody.
What's going on, Colt?
On Clapper. What's going on, buddy? Your mic is not on. It's okay. It just that cog, the settings in the bottom. Yeah, shouldn't be. I've done it before. I've started like 3 or 4 minutes of my show talking with no mic and just going to town, having a perfect intro, and then like, oh crap. I've done that like a million times. Yeah, let's see. Appreciate all those comments, guys. Loving all the conversation back and forth. That's all good. And this is really it's a community and a show, because I want everyone involved, anybody that's got a say on the topic, and I think that's fairly unique as a show.
Can you hear me all right?
I can. Perfect.
Fantastic. Thank you. And
So
thank you for having me, Wellen.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. We usually say hello and how are you doing and stuff to anybody popping up. What are you up to? Got a lot of green lighting going. I like it.
I can change the color. I've got the smart lights.
Yep, I've seen that. So Colt's a musician. You've got. I just saw your post. You'll have an album with 21 total songs. Or no, is the album going to have everything? How much is that going to have on it?
No, sir. So the album is going to have. It was originally supposed to be 10 tracks. But the big name artist that was supposed to feature with me was the 10th track, and he just had a death in the family. So that particular track got postponed, and now it's just 9 tracks. But yes, I do have an album dropping midnight of the 29th going into the 30th of this month. Called Backwoods Therapy.
Awesome, man. He does some awesome work. Would you call yourself a country rapper? I don't want to bog it down too much, but that's what it kind of feels like, right? It's pretty good stuff.
That's about it. Country rapper or country music singer. I actually am currently working on an EP that is just country music. I've had a lot of anticlimactic comments regarding my independency, and I'm not entirely against it, but I'm also not letting it affect me. I'm just being an independent artist. I am venturing out and seeing what I'm capable of.
So that's great, man. I love seeing other artists out there pushing it. But Jason is going to go first, and yeah, I want to hear it. I'm not sure that I've heard the whole story, and it's up to you how much you want to talk about. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. Let's hear it.
Addiction is huge. I'm going to start with I had a very addictive personality. I still do, even as a child. Very, very addictive personality.
Hi, Melanie.
That was one of the things that really was drugs were easy. It was, oh yeah, shoot, I can do that. Oh yeah, shoot, I can do that. And then I would get addicted to it for a while and switch to something else. Get addicted to it for a while, switch to something else. I don't drink no more. I quit drinking a couple years back because I still am an alcoholic. I am no longer an active alcoholic. Don't drink anymore at all. I was drinking 7 days a week. Did that for almost 2 years straight.
Wow,
I
that's
am
rough.
20 plus years clean with methamphetamines. I had dropped down to 98 pounds. When I graduated high school, I was 225 pounds. Got addicted to meth for right about 2 years, almost 3 years. Dropped down to 98 pounds.
Holy
Looked
cow,
in the
bud.
mirror one day. My skin was neon yellow. I was literally looked radioactive. I was glowing. And just walked out of the house that I was in. I was in a trap house, a drug den. I was in something, you know what I mean? Literally walked out of that house, walked over to my grandmother's house, locked myself in a room for 2 weeks straight. Nobody seen me for 2 weeks, and I came out clean. And I fight the urge every single day. Still to this day, 20 years. I still to this day have the urge of addiction. And
You're pretty lucky though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's incredible to come back from that type of an edge. Now, I don't want to stay too long on drugs specifically because I want to open people's mind to that it's more than drugs. But
oh yeah,
I did once do acid when I was young, and let me tell you guys, I remember having the thought during this time. I had more. I don't want to even talk about how much. It was just a time, probably the most I had ever had. And I remember thinking to myself, this is it. I felt like I was on the edge of a cliff.
Yep.
That has a never ending fall. And I thought, this is where all those old Grateful Dead heads fall off, and then they can't come back. Those are the guys that are burned out and whatnot. And I'm like, man, I was like, there it is. Like I remember distinctly to this day seeing that having that thought, like, well, if I just take this next step, I didn't, and luckily, but and that was me just at home. Go ahead, bud.
Waylon, I respect that. And yes, I also respect that addiction isn't just drugs. But I do want to caveat on Jason, and I want to give him props and respect for stepping away. I'm a 10-year veteran. In my line of work, the amphetamines is easy to get. My line of work, I could call up the VA right now and say, hey, I need 20 milligrams of Adderall to help me continuing my work. And I've been diagnosed to where I'm authorized that. And it's been very, very, very tough, even to this day for myself, to not call them up and say, come on. So I respect that you haven't stepped back into it. And I have it on the access for free, not on the streets. So
and all you got to do is go on the app and click the button, and it comes to your house again. I agree, because I have the VA also. Yeah, I always turn down pain meds and any antidepressants they try to give me. Because they make me talk to a counselor every now and then, like once every few years or something. And
for PTSD.
Yep. And then I tell them straight up, I grow my own marijuana now, and this is what I self-medicate. And they're thinking about it differently now. And that kind of leads into my story. I guess I'll go next. So
please.
Yeah, I definitely, I'm going to say I've brought up things about similar to this before, and I've always thought someone's going to push back, and they usually do when I say things like cannabis is a drug, right? Food is a drug. We talked about this the last couple episodes, but for me, cannabis is an addiction, because I know that I have allergens and allergies and breathing issues that I've developed over the years, and it's not the best thing for me. I know it isn't. Although when it comes to antidepressant and replacing things like Xanax and stuff, it is the best thing for me. So that's where I come back to is that addiction good for me? Maybe it's better for me than not. Maybe there's something else better for me out there, but it did help me get away from anything else. And I think that for a lot of people, Jason included, right, cannabis is the best way to stay away from other stuff because it doesn't mix well with a whole lot of things, even alcohol. I mean, I used to do both, and all that does is make you crash harder. You pass out way sooner. You're tired. It's a double downer, all that sort of thing. There's not a whole lot of other recreational things that mix well with it. I mean, in my opinion.
It's responsible. That's the key right there. You said the mix, it's a double downer and stuff like that. You got to do it responsibly, just like anything, and I don't want to bash people that drink. That's not what I'm doing.
Sure.
I don't want to bash people that have an addiction, There's because like other people are saying, there's coffee addiction, there's weed addiction, there's this addiction, there's that addiction, there's sex addiction. I'm not trying to bash anybody. Do it responsibly.
Yeah.
Do it, because social drinking is a good time. Sit around the table, play a game of cards, have a couple beers or whatnot. Run it. That's awesome. As long as you can control it. But when you cross that threshold of it becoming a hobby to a addiction, when does that happen?
So got spam over on YouTube. Let me
somebody said, it says Ireland Kyle says right here that the only good addiction is a wife. But you say that, when does it become an infatuation? When is an addiction and infatuation different? So you want to look at these definitions and these terms and find out, is it that you are addicted to something? Are you infatuated with it? Is it just something that you are truly in love with? So there's different terms that are being thrown around that it might not mean the same thing.
So Rose,
addiction is just in your mind.
Go ahead, Colt.
Was that Jeremy?
I said anything can be an addiction. It's just in your mind.
Exactly. Like nicotine, things like that. And to go on Jason, I don't smoke. Now cigarettes, yes, but I don't smoke cannabis. I don't smoke THC or CBD or deltas or anything like that. I've tried. I've tried, but it affects me in a wrong way that I don't appreciate. But alcohol, yes, sir. You hit the nail on the head with me. Alcohol. And again, this is just hitting the iceberg, ladies and gentlemen. Alcohol, cannabis, pills. This is just a generalistic social stigma of addiction, when addiction is so much more than just this little ball. Alcohol is, unfortunately, is my addiction. I feel like I'm almost to the point that, and this is current. This is current for me. This is as of right now that I've had drinks in me that I say this. Addiction draws me to alcohol in a sense that alcohol brings me to a functionable state.
Me as well.
Or what you mean is it's taking away the withdrawals, and that's the same thing with cannabis. You guys, people think, well, if I don't smoke, I'm an asshole, right?
Yeah,
that's because, and I have to push back on you too, Jeremy. Some addictions are more than in your mind. Physical addiction is real, and we see that in babies all the time when they come out of the womb with an addiction to some medication that was forced upon the wife, or the wife. What am I? Not necessarily forced. You guys know what I mean. Some medication that she had to take, and then the baby comes out addicted. It's not in their mind. The baby has no idea what that is. But you're right about a lot of addictions. Now that's why you might not have been here, Jeremy. We looked at the definition, and there's a loose definition that does involve just about anything. But then there is a hard definition that's like a substance that if you stop taking it, you're going to have adverse reactions. That's the main definition. So they're both right. It's just the physical is a real thing. But then coming to something like nicotine, it's a very strong physical addiction. But nicotine itself is not bad for us. So is that addiction may not be that bad. It's all the other stuff.
It's not bad for you.
It's the other stuff.
All the other shit that's in.
Go ahead, bud.
Waylon, were you ever downrange, brother?
I went to Iraq for 13 months. Yep.
So, did you ever smoke cigarettes?
I tried one once from my roommate, and I got sick. Like 5 minutes later, I felt hungover as hell.
Thank you, Bean, for the 500 stars.
Bean,
So,
thanks, buddy.
thank you.
down.
I only asked because if you did smoke, you'd be able to caveat on this, or be in the same boat with this. It's not the nicotine. Exactly what you're saying. It's not the nicotine that we are addicted to. It's the chemicals that they're putting in. But I also bought myself a carton of Marlboros in Afghanistan for $10. And literally the first three, I'm like, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. And I put it down and didn't smoke for a year and a half. And this is after the deployment. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
Now, do you feel that it's the nicotine, the other chemicals? My first thing, I had the habit. Mine was the habit. And I had people have said, cut straws, chew on a sucker, do this, that, and the other, and
that helps for some. But when you're, I guess my situation, my environment, and then knowing that the typical American tobacco wasn't available, that made a huge benefit. But I also started smoking at 16. I'm 35 now. There's
35.
Yes,
I was thinking like 65. No, I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding.
I didn't think I was older than you. That's for sure.
Oh,
okay.
You what?
Nothing. Sorry.
Oh,
he was being a smart ass.
I thought you said something. I thought you were muted. That's what I heard. But anyway, we got an angry face from Adrian. Feel bad
Adrian.
about that. I don't know what she was
I
angry
can't see
about.
comments when I'm in this. I don't know how.
You can see them, buddy. There's a chat spot. You can hit chat.
Yep.
And then you're stuck in the private chat. You have to then go over to the comments. It says.
Yeah, I'm watching them come through, but the my personal because I'm on the computer.
I can't see nothing then.
It's a little further away from me, but it looks like you may be on a mobile device.
No.
Jeremy.
I heard him say no. He like, oops. A lot of people do that on their phone. The X button is so close that you. Hey guys, come on. We got some other folks out there that want to share their experience. I'm about to share mine. I mean, I have more than one, but I know there's other people out there. We got Keisha out there. We got. Let me know if that link is still broken. Colt, you had a problem with that link?
Yes.
I'll just share it again.
But I was also trying to chase it via mobile.
Oh, okay.
And then I went to the computer, and though your pinned link was up, it was also not accessible as a hyperlink. So unless it was,
I just sent you another one by accident instead of putting it in the Facebook chat.
Okay. I saw it.
Disregard.
So unless people can actually copy that hyperlink and get into StreamYard, or open up StreamYard with it,
you should be able to.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Yeah. Well, I think it was your first time. You did all right. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Ryan is in the house. Come on up, you guys. We got I don't know if Jess showed up yet, but she didn't show up earlier when you tagged her on your live. Okay, so I really hate to do this. I need to hit the head real fast. So if you guys can
we'll entertain the crowd, sir.
There's Jeremy back. Be right back.
Welcome back, Jeremy.
All right. So my thing is starting out, and everybody, number one addiction, the first thing that comes to mind, coffee.
Yep.
Coffee. Caffeine.
Addiction.
Caffeine. As soon as you wake up in the morning, it is caffeine, it's coffee, it's a monster. It's 9 o'clock at night, almost 10 o'clock at night, and I'm drinking coffee, sitting here. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
so caffeine is an addiction. It is a huge addiction. How did they capitalize on that? How? Who was it? Where did it come from? What are we doing? Why do we allow it? What is it? What? Sugar, coffee. I mean, it's nuts. That is a huge addiction. What is it leading to? It's leading to the obesity. It's leading to heart diseases, leading to just sugar problem, diabetes. It's kind of crazy. It is such a killer that we're not even talking about it.
But if
Yeah.
you shut down America and probably every other country on this planet.
If you
Well,
took away caffeine, it would shut down everything.
oh,
That's what I'm saying.
facts.
It would
I
shut
mean,
down everything.
and you
Hey,
can.
y'all.
Well, welcome
Val.
in, Val. Welcome in.
They'll probably kill each other over that shit.
You think about it. You think about it and look at what it causes, but the amount of money that is made off it, the amount of legal money that is made off of caffeine, made off of the sugars, it ain't going nowhere.
It's
And it is a
convenience.
huge addiction.
So
Convenience.
y'all in the chats, pay attention to what Waylon pulled up. The different or 10 most common addictions here. Number one, obviously, what I said was my shortcomings was alcohol. Social drinking just isn't a stigma to me. I do it by myself, and Jeremy's sitting here doing it by himself. Alcohol being number one. I mean, Waylon, do you want to
Yeah,
go
buddy.
deeper into
Listen to this. I actually didn't want to. I didn't want to show the number one. I was going to have people guess. What do we think the second one is? I haven't seen it yet.
There was
Any
a
guesses?
comment. I don't know who it was from.
I think it's caffeine.
Ryan.
Yeah, Brian's talking about
Yeah.
caffeine.
Yeah, I would vote for what Ryan said.
Chat. Anybody have any ideas? We got Kathy over in the YouTube. I want to make sure I put her on the screen because she's hanging
Hey,
out all
Kathy.
by herself.
Life
Appreciate
is
you
short.
for using the
All right,
channel.
Kathy.
I can't see any of that shit. I can't even see you guys.
You can see it on the screen though. You can zoom
That's
that in
right.
a bit.
We do.
Waylon don't know how to use it, or he don't know how to use it, Waylon.
All
I
right.
ain't trying to fuck shit up because I'll just like exit it out or something.
He's
It
not tech
happens.
savvy.
She has a connection issue sometimes. So
There's a
It's not
nicotine.
connection issues. It's like
This
issues.
is as of 2020, Waylon.
this says of 2020, 28.3 million people. Why did Jay call me right now?
Worst time, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 4:00 in the morning where he's. I don't know what he's in the UK. So
Maybe it was a
we're
butt
not-
dial.
Well,
You're right.
You know what
Oh,
to do when
we were
it's
wrong.
4 there.
Look at that. Nicotine being number two.
We had a
Nicotine.
couple of guesses. We had Sarah and Drew. I'm guessing you guys said it before.
Yeah.
Sarah said it. Drew said it. Nicotine.
Among people aged 12 or older, 8.5%, or about
Wow.
23.6 million Americans reported struggling with a nicotine addiction. Wow. And that's just who reports it.
Oh, let's play put a finger down. You know what I mean? Alcohol, nicotine. I'm already 2 down.
Okay.
Let's keep going, boss.
You're screwed, buddy.
Yeah,
The next one's
How
got
many
to
you want to
be
keep counting?
The next one's got to be, what do you think?
Caffeine.
Caffeine, definitely.
Jason?
It's got to be caffeine.
It's got to be.
Online addiction counseling. Nope. Marijuana, you guys, is the
not me.
number 3. Number 3 is
Finger
marijuana.
down. Finger
Oh, come
down.
on.
Oh man. As of 2020, 5.1% or 14.2 million. What this is stupid.
Well, I don't care what you say. If I ain't got a fucking joint tomorrow when I wake up and get to work, I'm gonna beat somebody's goddamn ass. I know that.
Well, now that's why they call it an addiction. That's why. That's
I'm sorry.
exactly.
I'm sorry. Hey, I
12
won't even go to work. I won't even go to work if I don't have a fucking joint fire up when I get there. I will not even show up. I won't.
It's also growing, it says, because due to the increasing potency over 60% over the past decade. 60% increase in potency over the
Wow.
last 10 years.
And that
I mean,
was
this is
2 years ago.
This is the Addiction Center, your guide to addiction recovery, just in case anyone wants to know the.
How does the potency have anything to do with the
Well,
addictive side?
so Doc, hold on, before I address Doc, opioids is under the same tree as marijuana, yes, or vice versa.
You mean, what do you mean by tree? As far as like plants, or as
Family,
far as
under the same family.
No, they're
No,
not.
I don't think so.
No, it's not a
No?
narcotic. or
Cannabis
opiate.
is not an opiate.
Oh, okay. So that's my ignorance. You have to forgive me again. I
Or a
don't smoke
narcotic.
it.
See, that's
So-
why it shouldn't even be on this list. We've been fighting so long to get it unscheduled. You put it on a list like that, and they say, "Oh, it must need to be scheduled."
Right.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you.
Okay.
I think there should be other things on this list before that,
Yeah,
like that are more
because
harmful.
that's crap.
This is literally only telling us who had marijuana use disorder. What does that even mean?
Oh,
the functioning drunk. The functioning drunk, Waylon.
this
Yeah,
is an
I cannot
example
wake up and operate
of
without
propaganda.
alcohol in me. That would make sense under that
I do
terminology.
the same fucking thing. You don't think I do that?
Total.
I wake up and drink a beer on my way to work. I mean, most of the time. Most people drink coffee. I drink a
at
beer
this.
on my way to work.
Look at
But
this
do I
first.
still get up on the fucking on top of a roof and do shit that people can't do? Yeah, I do. But
Yeah,
it
but,
doesn't mean, So
it's
what's the definition of
that means you're
being
functional.
addicted to something and not being able to do something?
Yeah, you're a functioning alcoholic.
Functional.
Yep. You're a functioning alcoholic.
But you see how this first paragraph contradicts a little bit. It's like the
Yeah.
legalization of marijuana in some states has made the drug's use more socially acceptable. This trend can distract people from marijuana's addictive potential. Like, what do you mean? Like everything that's legal? Like anything?
Propaganda.
Alcohol, nicotine.
Yeah, see, I don't believe marijuana has addictive. I think it's the people that choose to medicate because of its medicational purposes.
Yeah.
Well, there are people that hinder on the term medicate. They hold on to medicate when they abuse that term and turn it into something it's not.
Well, look at this. Their whole parameter, their whole judgment is that these people, this 50 million people reported using marijuana. That's their like, what do you call it? Their checklist of, marijuana use disorder. Those people used it. Like, it's just, yeah.
Hey, Waylon, before we skip over, and I thank you so much for pinning Doc's comment. Doc previously said we just need to stay medicated because of the bullshit in the world. Understandable.
It's a tough one.
But what it is. So what insinuates medication, Doc? What insinuates? Are you talking about meditation? Are you talking about marijuana? Are you talking about medicating yourself with pills, alcohol?
He's talking about marijuana specifically, I think.
Right.
You got to think about it like this: like if people didn't have these addictions, okay, so what else would they have? Would they have hate? Would they have love? So what are we gonna hug each other? Are we all gonna hug each other? Are we all gonna kill each other?
Well, let's go back to the 70s. That was a
So
whole
which one do
debate.
you want? I mean,
Jumping
because
all
if you don't have something to proact your life in, or just everyday things like smoking a cigarette, drinking a cup of coffee, random things, that you could say is an addiction. But if you didn't have this in your life, what the fuck would you be doing?
I got you, Doc.
I want to know. I want to know what the fuck you'd be doing if you weren't smoking this cigarette or drinking this cup of coffee or whatever. So what
does it become a habit instead of an addiction, though?
Right, because your body would inevitably turn
into
your body would inevitably turn into, or your mind would inevitably turn to a quote unquote survival instinct, where now I've got to overcome this desperate
No, I'm
need
not,
for
I'm
this
not saying
addiction.
I'm not saying if you're addicted and then you didn't have it. I'm saying what would you do if you didn't have that?
You mean
Like
if you were never?
if you never had that
Right,
addiction,
Wellen?
you never was succumbed to all these things. What would you do with your fucking life? Okay, what would you do with this?
Anything other than?
Yeah, bro. There's plenty of stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, like just think about history. Like there were times when but there was always
Oh,
something
That would
being
be
used.
yourself
Melanie,
to
welcome,
answer
by the
that,
way.
not me.
Hi,
Thank
Melanie.
you.
I
Nice
can't
to
answer
meet
that
you.
for you.
I
Hi, guys.
know.
Hi, Melanie.
Hey.
It's hard to
Hello,
imagine
Melanie.
after you've had that thing, right? Like it's hard to imagine not having your cell phone. It's hard to
Yep.
imagine not having, anything,
Internet.
a car, whatever, right? But there a lot of times that shit does go by the wayside, and or we lose use, or like say coffee, like maybe there's a drought or a big crop destruction issue, locusts or something, and then
Food.
there's a shortage. Well, you might have to deal with that, and then you're going to be kind of a dick, right, Jeremy? Like fuck, I'm losing
That's
my coffee.
happened before.
And then yeah, no, it has. I remember that. Justin
So-
Cider. Hey, real quickly, I told Justin I've been thinking about how I can work him in here. I'm thinking about having a segment where we call it the Justin Cider segment. He pops up, he just comes in like a tornado for 5 or 10 minutes to just tell us what he thinks about the topic. Kind of like, what really grinds my geek.
Fine.
Love it.
And then he just dips, and then but
I heard there
to
were rumors of a Justin Cider roast in the
Oh,
book.
that's all we
Hey,
can handle,
this is
Justin.
me off. That was
I
gonna
heard
be my
there were
fucking
rumors of
segment.
that.
So everybody in the chat and everybody up here, just to help Waylon out, remember, this isn't just about substance addiction.
Yep.
It's not just about substance addiction. It's addiction in a whole.
Yep.
Just keep your mind on that.
We're not just talking about a whole. Wait.
Sir.
Anyway.
You
Just kidding.
would.
Just kidding.
Didn't even do it. It wasn't
Okay.
even me.
What's up, Daniel?
All I have to do is show up
Huh?
now, and he does it on his own.
Well, Melanie, I try to set the tone
I
for
like
you.
my
I'm
guy
like, I
Colt though. My guy Colt's like he been staying real for real. Like
Jeremy,
I'm trying, Jeremy.
you're reminding me of something, and Colt as well. I think next week we're going to talk about tattoos, just to kind of tease that a little bit for everybody.
Love it.
It's going to be
no,
fun.
no.
Another
it's not.
addiction.
Yeah,
You know what?
that's a good call. I didn't think about it. Yeah.
That is one. That is
Addiction.
absolutely one. After my first one, and so I'll obviously, if we have them, we could tell you, oh, we always want another one. But like even one of my nurses, I just got out of the hospital. For those that you don't know, I just got out today, and one of my nurses has
Facts, Justin.
sweet spicy soup. It's the weirdest thing. Hot spicy soup. It's just 3 Chinese letters. But he was telling me about his girlfriend. He was like, and he's got his body done too. And he got it done too.
Jeremy, hold on a
Yeah.
second, bud. Let her talk.
And he was saying his girlfriend's 57 and just got her first tattoo. And he said it wasn't even 3 days later she came up to him and said, "So what do we get next?" Like it truly is. I mean, it's not a pain addiction, but it truly is an addiction. A lot of us call it ink therapy.
Yep.
It makes us feel better. I don't know if it has to do with the pain. I doubt that it has to do with the ink. But I don't know if it's the pain, the recovery, but it is.
Some of it is, I think. But I would have to say that do you guys remember the first step into addiction? I'm thinking of it as we speak, but the first step is always, well, I tried it once. I've done it the one time. I can do it again. Oh, I'll just do it one more time. Oh, I'll just do it one more time. Whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
And you feel like, well, I've done it before. Why would it matter if I do it again?
It's an everyday thing.
Now, with you saying that, do you agree with cheating being an addiction, or it can be an addiction?
Well, but that kind of links to sex, I think, in general.
No,
so
I disagree. I disagree. I don't think cheating has to do with. I don't think cheating. I
would love to hear your opinion.
Yeah, go ahead, but I don't mean like I mean the addiction of sex, and then the person maybe just is like.
In that aspect, it would be sex. It wouldn't be in that aspect of I need somebody.
It could be totally emotional when it comes to that instead of the physical act of sex. I mean, sex is addicting. That's totally separate addiction.
Yeah.
But and I'm going to clump this in with stalking and obsessions with people. I think it goes back to that where maybe you just you have that need that we're going to say addiction, where you have to be loved by somebody, you have to be constantly hearing affirmations or whatnot. And I think people will search out other relationships, not sexual necessarily, for those reasons.
Interesting.
I do, yeah.
Well, what do you think,
I
Waylon?
respect that. I respect that.
I think that there's something to the habit thing once you've gotten to, so like okay, I'll equate it to going live on Facebook. You go live the first time, maybe you were nervous for many years and you decide to go live, and oh, there's 10 people hanging out with you all of a sudden. Hey, that's not bad, huh? That's not bad. Oh, hey, let me just go live for like the entire day. Maybe I'll see everybody, right? And so to your point about people, it's like, okay, now I'm addicted to getting that feedback from people and that affirmation and that feeling, oh, I'm a celebrity now. Oh, right, oh, this is cool. So, but then it becomes unhealthy once you pursue someone more than they care to be. Like
more than 2 points of contact without more than 2 points of unwanted contact is considered.
Only Waylon would know what this stash is. Right? It's like, chase.
Yeah, the stash is something else.
Like I got all these people following me and chasing me around.
No, that's an interesting point of view. Respectable at that. I was with Waylon when he opened it up. Sex in general is an addiction, and then cheating is a whole nother form of that sex addiction.
It's a whole different high, I think. Yeah, we're talking about highs. Definitely.
Well, I think there is a difference in someone who enjoys the conquest of people rather than the relationship you have with them once you've convinced them to be with you.
So you're saying like another notch on the belt?
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Yeah, you're trying to achieve something. I can see that, Jason.
So do you feel that into the lines of serial killers too?
Ooh,
because that becomes, they say that it becomes an addiction to them. Murder, the blood,
look at Jeffrey
Dahmer, that rush.
But that's skipping past the mental problem.
Yeah, but like, who is that fucking person?
The sociopath? Like, the addiction to me in that situation is a byproduct of them already being,
fucked in the head.
Right. And I do not study, but I do.
You're not fucked up in the head at that point. I mean,
I know a little bit about serial killers and their stories, and I don't know that I would say serial killers in general it would be an addiction, because I think a lot of them, for the most part, there were things leading up to it their whole childhood. It's the psychotic breaks or bedwetting, whatever we want to throw out there that were signs. I think they're in almost all of them. So I don't know that would be an addiction. Maybe once they start it, they feel like they get a thrill off of it. But I think even if they didn't have that they would still do it.
So
the chat just lit up. As soon as I said serial killers, the chat went boom, boom, boom.
I gotta get in
there. Let's look at one. Let's look at one. Jeffrey Dahmer. Okay.
Yes.
Different. Okay. Different. He ate people. That's a different addiction.
General. He absorbed a different addiction, but started off as a youngin'. Being bullied. I mean, look at some of these kids that were constantly bullied and then turned into something. Turned into something.
I mean, I hate to say, had he not been a serial killer, he was a fucking intelligent person, man.
Facts.
Good looking, very intelligent. Like, he would have gone places if he could have just fought that urge to eat humans.
But in all reality, why glorify a piece of shit like that? Like, his names have never even been obtained to the press. Everybody knows his name is Jeffrey Dahmer. But nobody knows him. Everybody just knows what he did. So why glorify his fucking name when it's just what he did? It's not him.
Well, he's done his own interviews and stuff now, so you can get to know him if you want, Jeremy. I feel like I know him pretty fucking well.
Is it Kasia?
Yeah,
Kasia.
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you, ma'am.
Hi.
Aw, you're a ma'am today.
Well, you're a
Or-
natural, buddy. You're a natural. You've got all the
Right?
equipment already. You know, you can more than welcome to come back anytime. I'm getting better at trying to moderate and keep people. We love Jeremy, but I feel bad. I always have to get on Jeremy about something.
I know.
And it
I
is
gotta
nice
do
to
with
be
my own
welcomed
Sorry,
when we
sorry.
come in the Wayland show.
Sorry, Waylon. I'm sorry. I love you,
That's
bro.
okay. You're still here, and that's all that matters. But this is something that hits everybody. So I want anybody that
We
wants
all
to be
have
up here.
triggers to be something crazy, y'all. Everyone is one situation away from crazy. You,
Yeah, mental
Justin,
breaks.
yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Justin, I feel that on a deep level.
Yep.
Wow, you got to put her whole government name out there like that? It's just Kasia. You got to put a whole Kasia and her last name. Like, come on now.
Well, she does. She already does. That's all right.
That's all right. UKJ is cool.
No, I'm picking.
No, I think he's
That's
picking on.
fine.
I think he's picking on me for putting your name on the screen.
He just tagged her, you guys. Calm down.
No, but I did this though, so it's
Oh.
up on the screen.
Jay put it out there.
I get it now.
Oh, I missed it. I'm sorry.
So Kasia, welcome to Wayland's
Cool.
Yes,
discussion.
and I
guy.
want to make
People
a
in the
comment
boxes.
about his freaking mustache that is driving me bonkers.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. So hold on. One, he said, "This is it. I did it because it's awesome and it's hilarious." Now let's move on. But let's hear your side.
So people kept telling me to do the Hitler stash at least 3 times. I'm like, I am not doing
yeah,
that.
don't do
It's
that.
not happening.
No.
But
Not
I'm
when
just
you're
gonna,
a content creator.
yeah,
No.
I didn't know. Sorry, but yeah, I'm just gonna shave it. I'll have a beard again in a couple days, Kasia.
When I did the
But
week,
if you could do like the hook thing, I feel like that would work for your face.
I agree. Like the what was his name?
Look. You know what?
All the way, yeah.
Anybody that does not say that thing looks sexy,
got it.
this is the Hulk Hogan of
That's
our
not who I
generation right
imagined.
now. That looks sexy. Come on now.
You guys turn sideways.
Thanks.
Give him the side profile, Waylon.
There
You
we
gotta
go.
give him
Saw the
Right
side when I
there.
first got. Yeah, that,
I'm not
I
gonna
do
do
love
I'm
it.
not gonna
I
do
do love it.
Wait.
I mean,
The chops.
yeah,
The
brother.
chops is what we're gonna say.
yeah, you can't hide those. That's that. When I first popped on, I think earlier you were on something. I saw you, and I was
Exactly,
like,
Kathy.
"Attaboy." You know, I didn't like during the week of Halloween. I was a couple of people I was going to dress up as, and one I did of groups or members of our group, and one of them was a black guy, and they're like, "Dress like Tony," and I'm like,
Yeah, how about no?
"Nope." And then all you'd have to do is color your nope. I am online all day. I am on video. I am not coloring my skin.
So
Oh, it was someone from Canada that didn't understand blackface. And I was like, no.
Our prime minister always wears it. What's wrong?
Oh, touche.
Should be fine. It was a joke. Yeah, no.
So Kasia,
Wait, hold on,
Yes, sir.
Justin. I was thinking more like Junkyard Dog meets Magnum PI.
Justin. And that's why you're not up on screen, Justin.
Right. Well, and
Yeah.
that's why I think it would work perfect. He would pop up, come in like a hurricane and then leave. And it would just
burn a few
it'd be fine.
people and out. No,
It's
that
like-
doesn't give us a chance to burn it back, though.
True.
Biker / porn star. You know what I mean?
I
I
can't
do want-
think of who it is. There's an actor in a movie, and just that,
Burt
and I don't know
Reynolds.
who it is.
Ron Jeremy.
No, I would not
Good
mistake
guess.
you with him. Actually,
Well, speaking
No,
of
it's like
porn,
more
though, you
like-
guys,
it's more-
I do
forget
want
his
to talk
name.
about it.
He's like a-
That's also another addiction, which I was actually gonna ask Kasia, since Waylon, if you don't mind. What addiction story do you have?
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
whatever.
Sorry, Waylon.
Justin.
Sorry,
Don't start.
No, I was just responding because like the
start
link
with
is in
me.
the comments. It's not special when it's already in the comments. Justin, go ahead. Kate. What's your story?
Well, I
Well,
know.
there's a lot of people that I know that are addicts for drugs and stuff. My addiction is makeup.
Mm.
Oh, Good addiction.
Shopping.
Well,
Have we talked about like shopping, makeup? I think that'll.
There's only a little bit there. There's a little bit under my sink. There's a little bit over there.
hold
There's a little bit in boxes that I still haven't undone.
No, I know she got makeup.
I have
I've
a problem
seen.
with
What do
that.
you?
Yo, I'm just gonna
She had like 4
prove her
tubs
point.
of hair dye. Like,
She sent me a pictures of a couple things, and like they weren't even unwrapped. They were more than a couple things. They're very expensive. A lot of things, not even unwrapped. She's like, I have 2 of these. I have 3 of these, and I'm like, oh girl, it's like. But shopping is a real addiction. It's an instant,
It
and
is.
I don't know if it's made, whether it's makeup or food, which is another addiction, but whatever you're shopping for, it's that instant high because you get it right away. Other than even online shopping, you still get an instant gratitude where you paid for it. And there's a different kind of addiction because now you got to wait for it.
Yeah, because then it's the excitement. It's the like, oh, I can't wait until that is in my hands.
No, Jay, everybody, hold on, everybody. Jay is very, very upset that I didn't take just
you want to drop me down and bring him up, man?
No, I got 10 spots. He could come up if he wanted to. He just his phone doesn't work well with the StreamYard. But Jay, don't ever call me while I'm on the show again. Okay.
He's not speaking to you.
I've been yelled at for that too. Who'd have thought?
Wait, you called me? No, you didn't.
No, I mean not you, but
I'll be right back.
Do you want me?
So,
to?
Kasia, sorry, I feel like I interrupted you. You think makeup is your only?
Oh no, it's definitely not my only addiction. But
probably
sure.
on the top 3. I could see maybe caffeine, alcohol, nicotine.
My man Colt right here. He's
not
been
since
like
2018.
awesome. Like I haven't actually met Colt, but like I've seen him before. So
you have. I've popped into several of your lives, Jeremy.
Yeah, he's an awesome dude. Like he's
the one I have the most
actually cool
with,
as fuck.
Opioids.
I haven't actually seen you in person or talked to you in person, but you're awesome, bro. I love you.
So this can't be right, you guys. It says 2.7 million people. That feels like a very, very, very low number. I mean, we have what do we call it? The opioid crisis.
I remember that.
And this leads me to another segue here. Justin's the only Canadian I think in the chat right now, unless Dale's still hanging out. The issue with Canada, I want to talk to them because there's a lot of places in Canada where they're actually legalizing anything. You want to do it? Countries too as well, but I don't have any other representatives. Maybe Jay, if Jay knew about it, but I think I know Canada for sure had that. I think it's Toronto. There was a mayor that still got elected that was like talking about smoking crack and everything.
What?
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
Like they're not cracking down on the users like the U.S. is. They're cracking down on
no, they're opening it up the other way.
People who sell it. Like it's legal to have it and to do it or blah blah blah, but it's not legal to sell it. So,
so I do want to look at the rest of this list. We got opioids at number 4. What do you guys think number 5 is? We haven't seen caffeine yet,
which surprises me. I would have easily put caffeine up there in the top 5.
That's because they don't want us to know.
People don't think it's a drug.
They don't want us to talk about it. They don't list it as a drug.
Well, and that's the thing, though, Jason.
What
it is
inhalants.
Wow. I thought
what Aaron Carter just passed away
were
from?
done back in the 90s.
What is it?
Aaron Carter died.
Aaron Carter.
Whoa, that's not. No way. How old is this?
2020.
Yeah, right.
Just a couple weeks ago.
No. I meant
she means the
as of
website.
As of 2020. So that could be. Wow, that could be almost 3 years. That
Oops.
What the hell? Cocaine?
Yeah, I didn't mean to go down there, but
what
yeah,
the
cocaine.
hell? Yeah, this is from the 80s, y'all. Stop.
This got to be 90s, 80s. You say inhalants, first thing that comes to mind is whippets.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Like
poppers, whatever. Yeah, this is it.
You can buy them in your glass shop now. You can buy the aerosol cans. You can buy the attachment. You can buy
You a
all of that
lie and a
right there
half. Are
in your
you
bottle shop
serious?
now.
I had a
Mhm.
client. I used to drive her children, and she had me
Wow.
pick her up 100 pack every 2 weeks when I was at the smoke shop. I was like,
It's
okay.
right there in the stores.
I think
It's
this
right
is
there in our gas stations.
this is one of the worst ones too because of that instant. Some certain people, and I don't know what the percentage is, but some people, if they do what's called a whippet, the first time you can die.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And I think it is specific to people being predisposed to it, but it's like it says here. It says inhalants addiction is particularly dangerous because inhalants are violent or are volatile toxic substances. The effects of these substances are intense and can have immediate consequences, including hospitalization or death. Chemicals are prevalent inhalants. And inhalants, that's fucking too many N's, can linger in the body and brain long after stopping use, making complete recovery more difficult. That is crazy. Yeah, I would have thought cocaine was higher, but
right.
The whole spotty, stars, lightheaded, about to drop. That's what inhalants do.
It's like freeze your lungs or some shit.
We would take the rubber cement and take the whole container, put it over our face, and we would rubber band it to our face.
Yep.
And walk around like that, because the faster you move, the more you breathe, the heavier you did. You would start exercising or doing something with that on your face. And 10 minutes go by, you're literally tripping balls for a good hour and a half. Just gone in space, laying there drooling outside of your mouth.
Yeah,
Mama
this was a different time.
But see, and look, y'all. Even the ones in the comments, look, y'all are seeing some very statistical
data
addictions. Addictions do not end what you're seeing on this list.
Yeah, we're just looking at the top ones, top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, there's addiction to porn. There's addiction to makeup. There's addiction to tattoos. There's addiction.
But those are the secondary. Those are the secondary definitions, though, and I don't know if they would count that in the top 10. And we're going to find out. But you're right.
Food, because food to me would be one of
that's an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
So
the most difficult addiction.
Like I said, any of it is. It's on your head.
Go ahead, Wade.
Let me remind you guys of the definition. The
actual
addiction. Jeremy, bro, come on, buddy. Jeremy.
Sorry.
The definition, the actual dictionary definition says it's a substance or thing that if you do not do it, you have an adverse reaction. Now we can call that withdrawal, right? But I think this is more like things that, well, I guess we'll just call it withdrawal. I mean, that's probably what it's mainly what happens when you stop your addiction, right?
This is why I think food would be one of the hardest, because we have to have food, so we can't just cut that out of our life at all.
I'm with you on that one, Melanie.
Just literally addicted to the form of eating, the art of eating, whatever you want to call it, the act of eating. That's it.
And I'm curious, Waylon. You said secondary addictions. I'm unfamiliar with this.
It was a secondary definition, or what did it? Well, there was a word for it. Not secondary, but I have to go back now. I'm too many clicks in. But it basically like the street definition, or like Jason, do you remember the word for it? It was
like a sub thing.
It's that addiction with addictive
personalities.
Yeah. I don't remember the exact word.
I got it here.
I'm sorry, Waylon. I popped in and trying to get up here with you. I didn't catch that first part when you pulled it up. I saw you pull it up, but I didn't hear it.
Well, this screen doesn't have it. It doesn't even say it now. It's funny. I see the regular definition, but it just says a noun. Or addict, or no, addict. No, that's not what.
Addict.
Addiction. Yeah, addiction was what we looked up.
Yeah.
Weird. Anyway, if anybody wants to share next, go right ahead. I'll be right back.
Well, Melanie just stepped away. By the way,
okay.
awesome background. There
I'm
she
here.
is.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she got the sign. I do want to share next, but I just
It
drink my
was
dinner too
the
much.
fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity.
There's Jay.
That's the main definition, but then there was a
KK.
secondary definition. But I'll be right back.
Okay.
So,
That's
hey,
okay.
Jay, welcome in, man. It's nice to meet you finally.
Welcome.
Which day is here now?
iPhone doesn't work well with StreamYard.
Melanie, so do you have a addiction story? Do you got anything to share with us, honey?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I've been addicted to lots.
What would you like to share with us?
I mean, basically, the norm, what everybody else has already gone through. Substance abuse. I started out like Waylon and said, like, oh, this one time I was totally against anything harder than weed. I was just turned 16, and it was like someone was like, oh, I was too drunk to go home, but I had to go home, and they were like, oh, this will sober you up, and I'm like, okay, nope. They didn't pressure me. It wasn't like that. And I was like, okay, cool, and went home, and my eyes popped open, and I snuck out, and that was the start to many, many years of my addiction that ended up with me being, homeless, living in a tent, and
Was that methamphetamines or what was?
Methamphetamines was my my choice, but here's the thing with addiction is never say never, because when you're an addict, you'll do shit. Like I never say, oh, I'll only do meth, I'll never do crack. Well, meth isn't available. This crack might be. You know what I mean? You got to do something. So, it's just that's why people say my drug of choice, because it's hard to say you're addicted to one thing when you're just addicted to chemicals in your body. Like any other
Informal.
substance is going to work for now.
Thank you, Waylon.
I agree with you, Melanie. It's a slippery slope, and actually, I want to start doing it like this, so we can have the person who's talking up there. That might make things a little smoother. But I want to look up specific. Porn was brought up, and we can laugh about it, but it's actually a very big problem among the human race in general, you guys. And I did want to look it up, the specifics of it. But yeah, like you said, Colt, informal was that word I was looking for. The informal definition is enthusiastically devoted to a particular thing or activity, like he's addicted to computers. Now,
and that's a real thing too. You ever take one away from a kid?
Right.
Game?
Okay, so with pornography, there is an issue where, yes, mostly men, of course, but the problem is that affects women too, and the reasoning behind that is that you have men that are now desensitized. They have a completely skewed view of what women are, and then they have this. It's fantasy. Too easy to access the fantasy. It's easier. You have everything at your fingertips. You don't have to have the hard conversations and the actual relationships and stuff.
You can start and stop when you want.
Yep.
Hey, Waylon, can you pin Joe Kelly's last comment? Because though he might have said it jokingly, that's actually a very, very good question.
I think that has to do with how you're raised. Like that doesn't have anything to do with I don't know. If you don't see women like that, then you don't see women like that. Or if you do, you should be taught not to.
So I worked in adult stores, and it was back in the days. Like that took a turn. No, it was back in the days, and they still have them where you put the quarters in and you can watch your, quarter gives you 2 minutes of porn, right?
Yeah.
And adult bookstore, they called them. And I definitely saw people coming in that were addicted to porn that would sit there and I mean, I'd watch money go in there because I'm giving them change, or they'd go to the change machine and I'm watching how much money goes in there, and they're alone. They done got off. It's way past what they needed, and and they'll hang out because they're just around sex. And sex, just being around sex, you know, in the store with all that stuff around can give you that little thrill. And then being able to have sex in one of those rooms. And our rooms had one where if the person on the other side wanted the glass in between you clear, you could make it clear and talk on the phone. So you got all your sexual, and then they would sneak in together, but it was different. But I saw people sit there for, you know, 8 hours, the 12 hours, you know, that I was there. It was just
yeah, you guys are right. And
Yes.
this is the problem. Joe said, how much is too much?
more than 3 times a week.
What's that?
Rose says, according to her therapist, more than 3 times a week. She had an ex that was addicted, and it was very stressful. She said also includes to pushing the limits, such as looking younger or worse.
Yep.
Well, this article that I'm at with Synergy Wellness, it's a 2022. We got number 1 type of addiction is alcoholism. Number 2 is tobacco. Number 3 is sex. Sex is the third highest addiction.
That's why I was surprised about the list you found.
Share that screen.
It's on my computer and I'm on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got alcoholism number 1, tobacco number 2, sex number 3, drug addiction number 4, video games number 5, internet number 6, shopping number 7, gambling number 8, and food is number 9.
And
now,
who would have thought?
More up to today.
I
right?
Yeah, I feel like
that other
the
one
items on that list are more accurate for right now.
And who would have thought? Video games, of all things.
Yeah, definitely addictive.
It's bad.
Yeah,
we made them better because we
insane.
wanted them better, and we fucked our generations.
Facts.
Pretty much.
I didn't mean to go that far. What do you guys think? Everyone saw it already?
No, I didn't see it, Bubba.
What's number 7 on this list? This is the pretty much seems like drugs only on this list. Addiction Center.
I agree there. When it starts taking over your thoughts and affecting your life and family or whatever, it is addiction. When it's taking over your daily thoughts, that's when it becomes.
And Rose, to acknowledge your previous statement, my previous comment, acknowledging another comment, was not trying to make it into a laughing matter. It was just acknowledging it, period, because it was a very good question. What is too much? And you helped us with that. So thank you, Rose.
What's pregoblin? Anybody know what this is?
Pregoblin.
What is that?
I was addicted to pregoblin. It sucked.
It's down in
a game.
It's
I'm not sure.
It should be in the pinned in the comments, Ricky.
Well, there's another thing here with the Synergy Recovery, the website, the page that I was just on. It says there's 3 different types of addiction: behavioral addiction, substance addiction, and impulse addiction.
There it is.
You know, so that really hits it right on the head with the different types. You got your drugs, you got your sex, you got your, gambling. Well, even rock and roll music can be an addiction. You know, there's people that can't go without it. There's people that have to have something playing in the background at all times. Or
is that an addiction though?
I'm that person.
Thank you, Valerie.
Where does it become an addiction? Does it become a habit? Does it become
compulsion?
Is that a habit or just like something your brain needs in the back? I mean, I don't. Yeah,
something doesn't
addiction,
right
impulse control disorder can lead to impulse addiction. Substance addiction is substance addiction creates a physical dependence on a specific chemical. So music does create a chemical in the brain. Addiction. So how far do you want to lead that into the science there? Exactly. But then you have the behavioral addiction. You know, that is you constantly look and listen to the music, so you're addicted to that behavior.
Or you only act some way without being rewarded for your behavior.
Right.
I have a little request, Waylon.
Yes, ma'am.
So my son heard us talking about food addiction, and he that's why I stepped away to talk to him, because I told him we weren't on the family page, and he said, I was just wondering if you mentioned my food addiction. So I was wondering if you guys wanted me to get him, because he does have a food addiction, and I would love to see what he has to say.
My daughter has the same addiction, Mama. If he is confident enough to pour some insight from
very.
a personal aspect and
down.
feel comfortable and safe,
Yeah.
then that would be very cool. Wouldn't
He
you say,
asked me
Waylon?
if he could, and I told him no because we weren't on our regular page. But I'll go grab
No,
him.
you can't.
We are all fucked.
And we can ask him questions.
I was actually just gonna make us take a quick smoke break anyway, so go get him. We're gonna take a toke. And speaking of habits and addictions,
by the way, Waylon, please forgive me.
He's like, oh, I get a message.
Waylon, please forgive me because
you're excited. I get it. I appreciate you.
Sure. I do this myself, like what you do, and like I said, I caught you on one of these lives. You have to forgive me if I overstep. Sir, I'm so sorry.
You're hosting your own show, and it's hard. That's one reason I made this show, is I wanted to bring people together that are doing their own things and have their own things to rep, and then also have room for just our regular fans and viewers and friends and family. Like Jeremy's not out here trying to build a following, but he's gonna give us input. So it's a weird show. I think it's working though, where we have 10 spots, right? If we have 9 of those spots filled with somebody who has their own business or their own podcast or whatever it is, repping that stuff, and then we have one spot, we always keep 1 or 2 spots open once it gets to that point, in my head anyway, for the audience. And then if somebody comes up, share their experience, and then they can leave and keep that spot flowing. And then, and I think I see it like that eventually. And I appreciate anybody coming up that has something that they're passionate about and something they're repping, because you're not getting a notification out to all your friends this way. So I want to make this worth it for anybody such as yourself that takes the time to come out and hang out with us. So
y'all up in the box and in the chats, you can ask
Cheers.
Waylon, when I first saw him pop in on a social media, he was in Facebook jail, and I geeked out like a schoolgirl when he popped in on one of these social media sites. And I'm like, no fucking way. Is that Waylon? I geeked.
My head swelled up. I was like, holy shit, this guy knows me? All right, so we got Melanie here with her son.
Yeah. I was looking for headphones. If you can't hear him, just ask him to speak up. He's not very loud, but it should be fine. I'm going to let him sit here, and I'm going to go look for a different place to sit for me.
Hi, Val.
And go ahead and have a seat.
Hi, honey.
She just popped in.
Yep. Well, I pulled her up.
Good evening, Kaden.
Hi.
How are you tonight?
Hi. Last time.
Pretty good.
Good, sir. Welcome in.
Backstage.
I suppose you all know that I'm Caden. My name's Caden Gebhardt.
Caden?
Hi, Caden.
Hi, Caden.
And I can confirm firsthand that food addictions are very hard to break.
Okay, so you're saying that you have a food addiction?
Well, mostly of the junk food variety. But
Okay.
I feel that, Caden.
So
All right.
we've talked about an addiction and how it means you'll go far to feed your addiction.
yeah.
So what kind of things would you, or if you feel comfortable, would you or have you done to get food because you just feel like you needed food?
Well, it turns out, well, for one thing, where I'm about 20 minutes walking distance from a whole host of restaurants. So if I were to get really desperate for food, for junk food, I just walk my way to there and pay for some money if I was really desperate.
Would you let me know?
Yes.
Did you let me know?
I did not.
Okay, he did not let me know. So where I live, it's an extremely dangerous walk, and I used to DoorDash nighttime.
Yeah.
So he would go after 9 p.m. when I was gone, and I think he went about 9 times before I found out, because he did it when I was here, and each time we have stuff here. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
we have stuff here. I always make sure there's ice cream, there's stuff like that. It's not about they're just being food. What is it? I'm gonna ask him because he's here. What is it about happening to have different food that's
night,
not
Joe.
like what makes you, even though there's
Or
ice
Jay.
cream here, what makes you want to walk 20 minutes to go get ice cream from there?
Well, it's that, well, something just kind of tastes better to me.
Do you think about it while you're walking there, and the whole time in your head you're just thinking about how awesome it's going to be, or is it just you don't really think about it, you just know it's going to be good?
Well, I do plan ahead of time for when I do end up doing that. The thing is that there's a bit of me that worries about what if Mom finds me every time I do that. And
So Caden, I got a question.
yeah,
and I real quick, I want to say, like, he would never sneak out. If like he's not the kid that's gonna go, I'm going to a party, I'm gonna sneak out. So for him to sneak out at night, which is a scary time, right?
Yeah.
Like even for him, it's a scary time, and walk over 2 freeway on ramps and entrance or on an exit ramp,
there and back.
Wow.
Says something towards it being an addiction.
Yeah, and
sorry,
go ahead, Cole. Go ahead,
No,
Cole.
no,
You said you had something before me. Go ahead.
No, I had a question. What drives you, sir? What drives you to want to make that scary walk to and from?
A really bad sugar addiction.
Sugar.
I
was going to say that, actually. I'm surprised we're not seeing that on the list, because I've always heard that sugar is 6 times more addictive than the most addictive substance on the planet.
I feel like they just lumped it in with food.
Well,
Could
and
be,
that
yeah.
too is, Joe says here that ice cream makes you feel better. Do you have anything with ice cream, Peyton? Like, is there?
Some of you know this story. It's okay, no judgment.
Yeah, there's no judgment here at all.
No.
This,
You
I don't know if
safe
you
here.
told him the topic or not. The topic is addiction. You know, so people are addicted to all types of stuff, and people have been addicted. So food is just one of the addictive things the topic that we're on right now. So
Caden,
no judgment
you see
or
this?
anything.
You see this, Caden?
Hang on, let's pull it up.
Over here.
Oh, yep.
But
I have an addiction too. Okay,
Yeah.
you're safe here, and if anybody wants to pop lip, I got you.
We got backup.
I got you. Okay. No, if anyone wants to try to talk bad about you because of your addiction in this safe place that Waylon has provided for you, I got you. I got you. I will destroy my own name to protect you.
No, that's awesome.
Above and beyond.
Thank you.
So,
and here's my story
about the ice cream.
Yeah.
So what is it? Well, first of all, what is it about ice cream that's different than, say, I mean, obviously a burger isn't the same. And see, I think it does go more than sugar for him. Those were just the times he got sugar and he got a burger and stuff also.
Yeah.
If there's food offered to him, he's going to eat it. We help with the backpack giveaway every year, and one of the first years we helped, all the people that were there's 100 of us approximately, and we're like, everybody bring donuts. There's a shit ton of donuts, let me tell you. It wasn't until, so before we got ready to go, people were like, let's get sandwiches. And I'm like, okay. And I knew he had been eating donuts, and I was like, eat a sandwich, and he was like looking green, and he had a couple bites. And I'm like, okay, maybe you're not feeling well, put it down. Well, after I started looking through the pictures later, in the background of every freaking picture, he's got a different donut in his mouth.
You could tell, you could see they're all variety, and they're not just.
Totally, I got a great phone, guys. I zoomed in. I'm like, that's a purple sprinkled one. What? Right? The last one was chocolate.
The best one. Come on, Mom.
Yeah. So anyway, I had to share that. But go on with it with the ice cream.
The day before Halloween this year, I spent $40 getting portable ice cream cups, and yeah,
wow,
I got in trouble for it.
Did you say portable?
That's what I heard.
$40 for ice cream cups.
Oh, just the cups with the little spoon. Yep,
The wooden spoons.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah, the old And
the wooden spoon ones.
now, would you normally spend $40 on something like that?
Heck no.
So what
Yes,
made you
I
spend?
wonder.
And that was all his money. So it wasn't like he had, money to burn. So what made you spend the $40?
Because, well, yes, well, I knew
Well,
that
better
if
than
I had,
spending $40 on.
well, I had a lot of money to have, relatively speaking, and I thought, why not treat myself extra for the ice cream truck?
Mm.
And yeah,
He filled our freezer.
Okay, now my question with that is, you bought the ice cream. Was your plan to eat it all at once? Were you gonna
No.
gorge yourself with it? Was
I
you
wasn't
just
gonna do
gonna
that.
space it out over time?
I
What
was
was the plan?
planning to space it out over time, but
Okay,
yes, I was planning to eat it all regardless.
So I
Right.
do monitor it. and
Right.
so I would ask a question because I know when I'm not here, not monitoring it,
Yeah.
maybe a couple
To
desserts were eaten during the day.
Right.
So I'm wondering, how long did you really think those were going to last the whole time, like just one a day? Or was it more like, I can have a couple a day and I have more?
That was my thought process.
A couple of days. Yeah, it comes the same way with people in drugs. They
You have an extra
I can buy
bag.
this. Yep. Yeah, I can get an extra this, or I got a little bit more money, so I can buy another bag, or I can upgrade myself to the next tier.
Yeah.
You know what that leads to?
Bring up food
What's that,
because
Wayman?
So he's got to eat. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? He's got to eat. So
And it's
you
just
try to
easier to
feed
get that junk food. There's no garden nearby he can just go buy some veggies at.
Right.
But we talked about sugar and junk food. What is carbs, everybody? What are carbs?
Delicious.
Bun, that means your buns. That means your
amazing.
right. But carbs are sugar. So
They break down the sugar. Absolutely.
So
we
that's
crave
why we
it.
like our breads and pastas.
So can I
That's
ask
why
a
we-
tough question? Is what drove you to wanting to go buy that bulk?
He just asked him that. He
Well,
said,
Did I miss it? I'm sorry.
yeah, he said he thought he had extra money and he thought, why not treat myself extra on the ice cream truck? Now to that I say, teach him where the cheaper ice cream is to buy. He could have bought like 17 tubs of ice cream.
But what I had just asked him was,
You got an echo, buddy. When you came in, there's an echo. Do you have
Diz, welcome in.
I had just asked him, did you get those? I don't know how many got 15. We'll just say 15. Did you get those to last 15 days, or did you get those because you could have a couple more
every
each
day?
day? And he said that was
one thing.
it was so
One
he had
thing's for
more.
sure. One thing's for sure. He knew his mom wasn't gonna eat them, so
I bought
they
it
were
the day before Halloween. A holiday notorious for candy getting.
Right.
Oh, so it was more of a mentality. And correct me if I'm wrong, please. Super candy.
How's that?
It was like
Yeah,
a super
that's what I
candy.
did.
What? Who said? Is that something that you thought of as a kid, Colt? Where is
Oh,
this?
hell yeah.
Who thinks of super candy?
Me.
Besides Willy Wonka
Well,
and the
Yeah,
chocolate.
he's like, can I
All right.
ask what that is? 'Cause I'm
My thing
My
now
son's like,
too is,
okay.
Big
is your
bars of
guys' ice
chocolate.
cream trucks, because I know in here
did.
they don't, but in California you can call the ice cream truck and it's going to show up at your door and come knocking on your door.
I
That
tried
doesn't help
to
with an
it
addiction.
worked.
My
Right.
neighbor
That's a
told me.
Schwan's man.
Wow.
That's a
That
Schwan's
doesn't help
man.
with
That's
the
a nice
no.
No,
This is the ice
no.
cream truck.
You guys, these are
They
ice cream
hand out
trucks. The
business
ding,
cards.
the ice cream
Yeah,
truck.
we
Creepy
get
and
those
all.
daily.
I was not okay. I wasn't home, and my neighbor
What's
was
up,
like,
Matt?
ice cream man went to your front door, and I was like, what? And I was like with Caden, like helping him, and he's like, no, he went to go get him, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And then
I didn't expect for the neighbors to find out.
Oh no. There
Matt,
it is.
welcome in, Matt.
What's
Mom
up,
finds
Diz?
out
So there
everything.
it is. Kane's
Yeah.
corralling the ice cream man. He
Yeah,
loves
so
ice
you
cream.
just call him and text him now, and he'll tell you when he'll be there.
Like, yo,
And
bro, I'm down here.
it's crazy.
I
That'll
feel
take us
like,
right. The kids can text the ice cream man because children at 5
Wow.
years old have a
Thank you,
phone.
Nara, for the stars.
Oh,
You know what's funny
what's
is
up,
my
Ricky?
mom and my grandmother were ice cream truck drivers.
Oh wow.
Wow.
That is weird.
How much money did you make from that?
Thanks, Nora. We got
Well,
Diz
they
in
were
the
also
house from Fire in the Hole.
bus
Thanks, buddy,
drivers,
for
so.
stopping through.
What's going on,
Oh,
buddy?
Fire in the Hole's up in here.
We're on the
What's
bottom.
happening?
Yep.
Is
So
the
where
echo
did
going
Diz
now?
come from? Can I ask you?
Yes, I have a lazy eye, so I always look a little
You
dizzy.
do?
Hang on a moment.
Yeah.
Dizzy. Diz.
You can notice it. You can't notice it.
I'm just giving you
Basically,
shit. You're good,
You know,
buddy.
if I work a hard day, if my one eye is all the way up my nose, because if I focus long, that's when it starts to get lazy. But when I'm at the beginning of the day, I'm good. It's when I focus, like when I'm cutting in lines. When I was painting, you gotta really focus. So then my eye, by the end of the day, I got a headache from my eyes and my nose.
That makes more sense because I did notice it more one day. I didn't know that it changed. Oh, it was Kasia. I'm sorry.
Cajun.
Kasia left.
That's okay.
I said, did Kasia? And then I stopped, but she might have accidentally popped out. Go ahead, Melanie.
But he's gonna leave, so I just was gonna give him an opportunity.
Thank you, Caden.
Thanks, Caden.
Really appreciate you sharing your story, buddy.
You helped us out a lot.
By the way, thank you for letting me on here and air on my addiction problem with junk food. It was very therapeutic.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
We really appreciate you, buddy. Have a good night.
Thank you. I wish you guys a Merry Christmas.
Oh,
Merry Christmas to you.
Ho, ho, ho.
Hey,
You guys were saying super candy earlier.
Yeah.
I feel like the guy who sells super candy has
is my favorite guy.
White van with a little cape on the back. White van, no windows.
Hey,
little cape
don't
on
bring
the
up my
back.
childhood.
Super candy.
Don't bring up my childhood.
No, it's the guy from Breaking Bad, right? The guy from Breaking Bad sells super candy.
It's just a little cape on the back bumper. Super candy.
Hey,
What's up,
Diz,
Spence?
Huge shout out to you and your crew, Fire in the Hole. I've been following all your boys from Fire in the Hole. They are good people.
Thanks.
Good people.
Yeah. Yeah, Beans is my brother.
Oh yeah. I got no, he stepped away from Fire in the Hole actually. I know one real close boy of mine in Fire in the Hole.
Waiting for you to step in it here, Cole.
And sorry.
I know one person there.
I'll shut the hell up.
Something happened, and
I'm trying to catch up, sir.
That's when you grab the paper, Colt, and be like, there's static. Sorry, it's messing up a little bit.
Just do what we do in topical. Words are hard. Move on.
Words are hard.
They are. Thank you.
Ricky.
Love you, brother.
I love you, buddy. I want to get you a different microphone. Can I send you? I have one. Can I send it to you?
Here, what's this?
Hey,
that's better. I can hear you better. But this is a badass mic. It just doesn't light up red.
Blues.
It's yours if you want it.
I'll take it, man.
I would say if you say no, I got dibs, so you better take it.
I got 4 kids. I can't afford like a little headphone thing with it. You know, I'll take a microphone if I can get one.
Yeah, because then you could still use those headphones, and you just tell StreamYard to use the mic in the settings. Yeah. You don't have to.
Good night, Heather.
Good night, Heather.
I don't mind either way.
I can't see the comments. It's not like Facebook. I can't read shit.
I want to give a quick shout out to the 42710 family. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Normally our show starts at 10 o'clock on this, and we are at 10:40. So I know a lot of you guys are over here with us, but this is just a really big topic that means a lot to me and Melanie. So we didn't want to cut out early. Yeah, this one is very, very important to us.
Did you guys see the banner? Like this is an extension of the family. I see it in a lot of ways.
There's a whole lot of topics that can come and go, but you guys
right now on the screen. Hashtag we got the family. Hashtag smokers. I could take the family off, but just to sort of.
You know what you could do, Waylon, is add the word "the" so it's proper.
Oh, is there a "the" on that one?
They're both the.
They both have the.
All 3 of them are the. Yeah. You guys are not. If you've not heard of the 42710 Waffle House and you like smoking stuff and apparatuses, not products, but everything else to go with it, hit me up right here.
Accessories and apparel.
I don't know why everybody forgets the
420.
Is it a
everybody
capital
does.
T?
No,
There's
it's fine.
lowercase
That's
over
perfect.
here.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hi,
Okay.
Valerie. I'm sorry. I don't look at the comments too often, but I seen you said hi. What's up?
You can't see the
So
comments
I
at all.
want to tell my story.
Awesome.
I'll try to do it quick.
I've been waiting for
And
this one.
well,
Me too.
before I do, I want to
Yeah.
remind you guys of my inspiration for the show. And you may not like their politics, but the inspiration was this. There's a show on Friday nights called Friday Night Tights, and it's literally up. I think they have 10 people every time. They have one person that doesn't even talk but unless she's talked to, because she's the one monitoring all the comments and doing all these things. But she's still on the screen, and I love that. I was like, why not? You know, the tech person can be hanging out with everybody else. Doesn't necessarily mean they have to be hosting. But the reason I bring it up is because this show literally goes for 6 hours on Friday nights.
Wow!
And they have everybody on the screen has their own show, their own podcast, their own following, and they come together. They call it it's about pop culture, so they have a Lord of the Rings reference. They call it the Fellowship. And it's a bunch of creators and stuff that are connected, and I love this show because they literally have 500,000 followers or subs on YouTube, and they have thousands of people watching them for 6 hours. I can watch it, but I'll pause it. I'll have it on my phone, and I'll pause it in between, maybe come back to it. I don't watch it. I can't sit there for the whole time, just like this show. This show is watchable afterwards. 100% stand behind that. But this show, I think, has more meaning to it because we're trying to come together and share something to give each other more perspective on hard topics. They talk about important things like what's happening with Disney or like the MCU or like all these different things that are happening in the culture, which is important. They're not just talking gossip. They're talking about how it relates in the politics and everything. And it's a fun time. They literally have a show on Sunday where they play Mario Kart live on the screen for another 4 or 5 hours. And everyone, they just have this huge following. And I'm like, that's what I want to see, where we bring together people that have their own opinions. We sort of merge it on screen and see where it hashes out. Then we look up information. And that's what I wanted to point that out, because being 2 hours in, is great, but I'm like, man, sometimes once we get like professionals on here and stuff, this could go insane. But
then I do
eventually,
want to mention though that you are 2 hours in, and we have been almost 20 deep the whole time.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome.
And I want to thank each and every one of you guys in the comments, because we have had people in the boxes where there's only been 4 or 5 people the whole time. So I really big shout out to each and every one of you guys. We really, really appreciate you guys and appreciate everybody sharing their story. It takes a lot.
Sending stars. We appreciate that.
Yeah, everybody sending stars.
Little extra for Waylon, but definitely appreciate that.
Melanie, you may not have been here, but I made an official decree. Every star, all the stars I make on this show, I have them listed here. Not from who, but I've kept track, because it's not going to tell me just from this show what I got.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be keeping that, and every month I'm going to be dividing that up amongst people who are on and involved. Like I have to strike a balance there, because I'm doing all the production and stuff. But once yeah, Colt, I already told you can come back.
No, I want to say before you escape this, any star that you were talking about donating for anybody that's involved, you can take mine and put it right back in your pocket, Bubba.
Same thing.
You honor me for allowing me to be up here. I don't want nothing.
I appreciate that. I'm trying to create an incentive for the meeting of the minds, as it were,
But
I just like being here.
Not all of us need the incentive.
Well, and Melanie, speaking as you're the probably third most active participant, and I want to at least at first spend the money on upgrading StreamYard and all that.
Put it back into the show.
Right. Getting maybe spend money on advertising or doing the bump or whatever on Facebook. Sorry, addiction episode. I shouldn't say bump. Anyway, you guys know what I mean. The Facebook thing. So Speaking of that, even our addictions are turning against us with, the fentanyl epidemic inside the cocaine, but that's a different story.
Richard, thank you for the 99 stars.
You might think that you're going to get, some pain pills because you're hurting, and that's a fentanyl pill. So, yeah,
There's still a bit of an echo.
right now.
Ricky, you're on the computer, aren't you?
Diz.
Yeah, I'm not. Let me make sure it's not on my.
Sorry, buddy. I'm hearing it.
I don't want to mess with your thing.
So just a brief 1 minute, 2 minute story on fentanyl. I used to be a corrections officer outside of the military, and I had this individual that he was a repeat offender, constantly in for possession, whatever. And I was like, dude, really? And this is where it kicked in. I said, dude, really? You back in here? He's like, yeah, that fentanyl is like, look, I love you to death, but you gotta get your life straight. And before I closed the cell, I shook his hand. Mm-hmm. Not but 5 minutes later, I was gone. Fentanyl is transference in pores.
Yeah.
Oh.
As are most drugs, cocaine, meth, but not like fentanyl. Fentanyl, you touch someone's sweat, it literally can kill you.
Mm-hmm.
If they have a tolerance and they're up, it literally can kill you. This fentanyl shit is. I'll still never understand. They say, "Oh, it's cheaper to cut it with it." I don't understand. I never will.
It's not just that. It's like if you have any other opioids in your system, it fucking will straight kill you. Like it'll stop your fucking heart. Like if you have any like opioids, like
combination of addictions.
I mean, benzos and fentanyl can't go together. So if you're on, you're on something to sleep or something for anxiety, and you get one of these other pills, you're gone.
Hi, welcome to viewing a veteran that deals with that.
Funny, I'm so sorry. Wow.
Thank you for the 130 stars.
It tore me up.
Thanks,
luckily, God be willing, luckily, I was at the end of my shift, but it tore me up to the point that as soon as I walked off my shift, I collapsed right when I was supposed to walk out them doors. And I had no idea, but he still had it in his blood. All I did was shake that man's hand.
Now, did that make you want to go and did you have this when you get drunk, do you feel more? A lot of people, when they drink alcohol, that makes them go, okay, well, now let me get the other stuff, whatever it is, whatever their next step is. And they say weed is a gateway drug, but like I said earlier, I contest that not very many things go well with weed. Yeah, I would say it's alcohol.
Yeah,
alcohol is the gateway.
That brings me to my story, you guys. I told my story a little bit on the PTSD episode 1. You guys go check it out. People in the Boxes, YouTube, Twitch. Okay, anyway, so in the military, I actually didn't smoke weed till I was 18, and I barely even touched it before I ended up overseas. I turned 21 overseas. Ooh. So if you think your 21st birthday sucked,
that sucked.
But so anyway, in a dry country, although there were people getting liquor, I never messed with getting it. People were getting like scope bottles, and then they would at home they would remelt the seal on like with a lighter or something after filling the scope bottle with like vodka or whatever. So anyway, I was over there. I come home and I find out, I don't even remember when I started smoking, but I found that it really helped me out a lot from a lot of my issues I was having. I went through 10 years of like really my lowest low in my life. Yeah. But this is one of the reasons why it became a low, because in the military, they don't want to let you smoke weed, but they want to let you come in completely hammered from the night before without a wink of sleep, and you're totally fine.
With a 10-mile run to follow.
So yeah, I failed 4 drug tests in 4 years. So if that doesn't tell you how I tried, I fucking tried, you guys. And this is with me going to I was in the reserves. So 1 weekend a month. Yeah. I had to be drug free for one weekend a month. And it's like, that is, and my final drug test that I failed, I failed off of literally one hitter. And now if anybody out there smoking cannabis knows, one hitter is like almost nothing. And it was enough. And so, right. And so that's no, it was smaller than that, Mel. It was just the little 9-ring, like the brass, one hitter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying the other day, same with like the NFL. You hear like Josh Gordon was one of the best receivers in the league, but he smoked weed. There was a defensive lineman for the Cowboys that hit and killed somebody, and he was back on the team the following year after serving house arrest. But the dude smoking weed lost his whole career. And he said the only reason he did it is because he had so much anxiety about competing that it stopped him from trembling, and then he could be one of the best doing it. But that was illegal because they said so.
Pop it back up.
There's actually some really deep stories in the comments. Keisha, I do wish you had time, or you were able to talk about that, and maybe you can't because it's your roommate at the time. But
she did want to talk about it. Her internet dropped, and Keisha, I will make everyone be quiet. Jeremy's going to be quiet. You come up and tell us your story. If you want to come back, because she did tell me before this that
I would be honored. On that, Rose was saying her ex-husband switched from weed to alcohol when he was going to have the drug test. He's now a homeless drunk and prefers to be that way because he's got no bills, and because of that, the state pays for it because he's homeless. So, it's.
I wanted to say too, Waylon, you were just talking about fentanyl. We actually lost my father-in-law 2 weeks from now, so a year, 2 weeks from now, and he was an addict for a while, but
thanks,
doing this, like,
that's nice, Waylon.
He used to joke he was indestructible, and I guess they started putting the fentanyl stuff in it and took a little too much, and that was it.
And that's the thing, is the fentanyl overdoses right now, they're not from fentanyl. People looking for fentanyl. Somebody, like I said, someone might have had toothache and needed a 5 milligram Vicodin, or a muscle relaxer, and they just went to a friend. And that's what's really scary, is it could be your friend because you don't know where they got it, and it's just it's the same.
To caveat on that, Diz, I'm the oldest of 5, and
I'm the middle of 5, so.
And all of my siblings have been in and out of jail or prison because of fentanyl, cocaine, meth, whatever you could think of. Even my own mother, God rest her, God bless her. She has not been into either, but I witness all of my family doing that, and I'm not following the same trend. I'm trying to lead a different trend, yet you see me on my own addictions.
It's addictive personality. It's inherited. There's that gene. There's an alcoholic gene, but it's that we inherit it too. It's terrible. And some of us will be like, and not to put you down or anything, because
no, ma'am. I don't think
but some people would say, oh, for me it's just alcohol, I don't do those hard drugs. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like just alcohol or just pills or just this, people will really minimize what they have to make them a better addict than someone else.
If I had to point to one thing in my family, it would be alcohol that had problems. Go ahead, Ricky.
Well, no, I was going to say, I don't know if you guys said this earlier. My internet was messing up before I got in, but alcohol and benzos are the only 2 drugs that can kill you trying to get off them. So,
yep.
You say I'm only alcohol. I mean, alcohol and benzos will kill you. So obviously, you want to talk about what's real. I mean, they're all bad, but you can't classify one different than the other.
Well, no, I was looking into psilocybin, and they say that between LSD and psilocybin, there is a very different effect on your body, and psilocybin has been shown to be medical or actually rejuvenative on the brain and things like that.
Yeah.
There's Rose right there. Science proves shrooms can keep depression or depressive episodes at bay for 6 months or so. It's even prescribed in some states. Exactly, Rose, which means that psilocybin should be looked into a lot more. But the LSD was I don't think ever had, other than a truth serum type of effect, had anything good coming from it. So, but I do want to continue with my story.
Yes,
if
please.
that's okay. So for drug tests in the military, guys, the last drug test was literally while we were away from our base at some other base to fire at the range, do the qualifying, yeah. And so Colt, there we were as our entire battalion. You know how many that is? It was over 600 people there. Guess
4 or 5 companies.
Guess how many people shot an eagle, which is 40 out of 40 targets.
Out of a battalion?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say on a good day.
A reservist battalion that's a
reservist
supply company, like a line hauling fuel trucks, semis. Anyway, I'll just cut to the chase. 0. Besides,
fuck out of here. I was going to guess at least a dozen.
Besides, yours truly.
Really?
Guess what? A one-hitter is enough to take out a soldier from the military who can fire eagle on a weekend fucking drill, 1 weekend a month, you know what I mean? And maybe I sound a little bitter because guess what? Pretty soon, actually, I shouldn't sound bitter because very soon, once it goes federally legal, and even before that, we're going to see the VA prescribing me marijuana for free. It's going to happen.
Yep.
Before I die.
The very thing they got rid of you for. Full
Too
circle.
bad,
The thing is buying it off American farmers, not fucking pharma.
What I think is crazy is like there could be a guy in jail right now still for it, and the judge who sentenced him could be, doing the same thing too. Like
exactly, yeah. There's a lot of issues with that right now. Now, here's another thing. This is what the main part of the story is. Before that final drug test, I was sentenced. I don't know. I was made to do rehab, guys. I went to it was outpatient. I didn't have to go inpatient, but I had to do outpatient rehab. And guess what happened when I told people in a room full of like 20 people, junkies, everything, people who had real problems, what my addiction was. Why are you here? Why are you here, Waylon? Oh, well, the military, and I failed a couple drug tests, and that's why
they laughed at you.
They would laugh.
Like,
yeah, and yeah.
What's the movie? You ever
made a lot of friends. I made a lot of friends. Right. With Bob Saget, rest his soul.
Yeah. You ever suck dick for weed?
Right. You ever suck dick for weed? If you had this mustache, it would have been better. But yeah, no,
no, I didn't. I just I smoked a bowl every now and again.
Exactly. So that's my point, guys. I went to this and it was kind of a joke. I did learn. Obviously, you guys know me. I was into everybody's story. Oh yeah. And I even had people. By the end, I had these like, we'll just say rough guys sticking up for me when new people would come in, and I'd ask them some random question very sincerely, and they would think I'm fucking with them. I'd have a few guys in the room. Oh no, he's cool. He means it. Tell him.
I've always been this curious.
Right, and that's why I like hosting. I'm curious. I like to hear other people's opinions because it helps me form a better opinion.
I respect that, Waylon.
I wanted to say earlier when you were talking about it, these are like when you tell me what the subject is for the week. Like I got really mad last week because I got to talk to you for 2 hours alone on that. But when it's like the more serious ones, I actually like them better because you kind of see if what people's opinions are on a subject. And you might have never thought of it from that angle, or they might have never thought of it for years. But then it doesn't debilitate into like a Brady Bunch screen and everybody attacking the guy in the middle, which most of those conversations end up happening. So I say I like it when you can say something stupid and everyone's like, wait, can you and then instead of going, oh dude,
This isn't a banter show, but we do.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep it too rigid either, though. We can give each other some shit, and we can say some. That's why. That's why I have
I'm
the
gonna
disclaimer,
joke. Like I'm always. It doesn't matter how serious it is.
That's right. That's
I'm gonna
why. That's
make a
why
fucking
Jeremy's
dick
here.
joke. There's gonna be a dick
I'm here to
joke
take
somewhere.
on the flag.
Holy Doc.
I'm a flag vest. I'm here to say all the dumb shit, so y'all don't have to.
Well, I can give you, if you
Let's
want,
read this.
at some point, whenever, I can give you a success story. So, I mean, it doesn't have to, I'm just telling you, I can. If you want to hear something positive from it, too.
Dennis.
Wow, Doc.
Wow.
Should I read this loud with my announcer voice, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Read that aloud.
So Dennis Doc James says, I don't often speak of my past addictions. However, I have donated countless of hours in shelters and sharing my experience, strength, and hope. In 1975, Simon saved my life after finding me in a recording studio closet overdosed on heroin. My music career almost ended that year. I have much to say on the topic. However, I refrain, and it's not a memory lane that I relish going down. I have yet another addiction, menthol cigarettes, but that too is coming to a head come December 23rd as California.
Yeah, they're stopping all flavored and menthol tobacco products here.
You know what grabbed me on that, Doc? What grabbed me on that, Doc, was almost ended your music career. My career after the military has been pushing my own music as an independent artist, and you don't see everything, but just a fraction, that little computer monitor of my music, what I do, and teaching myself, and that grabbed my attention, and I'm not trying to go down that path.
Right.
So
wouldn't it be more like it almost ended your life, not your music career? It's like
both. Yeah,
both.
If it would end in my career, I mean, what the fuck
But
else?
if music is your life,
Yep.
Music is your life, and that's what you're living for.
Yep.
It's a lot of people right now. A big topic is, it's kind of an addiction thing. My children. A lot of people say that they wouldn't be alive right now if it wasn't for their children, and they get addicted to raising their kids. Addicted to being needed. And then when your kids graduate high school and then move out and they're successful, do you feel needed anymore?
I know somebody like that.
When he graduated, I was like, so I'm not Caden's mom, because I used to start every conversation with, hi, I'm Caden's mom. I didn't have a name. My identity was Caden's mom. Now he's grown. I'm like,
you're Melanie.
Yeah, I'm Melanie. I guess he's my kid. It's like I had to switch that around, and that took me a while. So,
Ricky?
No, I was going to say,
sorry.
I got a unique perspective on that because I used to, right before the pandemic, I worked 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. And then at the pandemic, my wife got a job, and we always promised each other one of us would stay home, one of us would work. So I had both sides of it.
Thank you.
It's completely different, but the needing to be needed, I had a real problem the first year of doing it because you're needed different at work than you're needed at home. Mm-hmm. I'm needed to do the things that are easy. I'm not challenged. I'm not needed for a challenge. You know what I mean? You get challenges, obviously.
Yeah, I get that. Completely get that part. Not what you're talking about with that part.
Jeremy, hold on, buddy. He's for some reason when you talk over Ricky's mic cuts all the way out. Yeah. Unlike elsewhere, but for some reason, otherwise you sound quiet. So anyway,
I'll just say your kids needing you is great. I missed all that and I miss it, but it's just it's two different things. The type of need that, because sometimes I crave the type of need that I got at work, some coming to me because they know I can get it done and we got 2 hours left and it's a 3-hour job. I kind of crave stuff like that, but it's easy. It's just as rewarding getting it from your kids. And I can see how people, I think that's why people kind of pathologically lie and stuff, because they want someone to believe something amazing about them, or
That's an addiction too. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the want to be needed or the attention or patted on your back. I mean, I think that's probably an addiction because I mean I could
affirmation.
Yeah, because I would go, new young kids would come into my work and they'd be all, droopy, and then like if the boss would like give them a pat on the back or whatever, you see that same kid like kind of like trying to like do everything he's trying to do to get another one,
Yeah.
So let's let Jeremy talk because I keep censoring him and stuff. I want to hear your story, Jeremy.
Come on, J-Dog.
Is alcohol your only crutch at the moment? Obviously, cannabis. Most of us, besides Colt, I think, and Ricky, both. Actually, we have two non-smokers. Yes, we're starting to do it. We're breaking out of the mold. But go ahead, Jeremy.
Wow, look at you guys.
You don't want to hear about my story. I'm gonna fuck up.
Let's hear it.
Ain't we all? Come on, Jeremy.
You're here now. You're in your family. So this only goes up from here, right?
Hey, Jeremy. To our addictions that we were trying to work out. Salud.
So the alcohol, yeah, man. I can still drink and be moderate, but I definitely shouldn't be, just like most people now. Like alcohol was a prerequisite in the military. Go ahead, Jeremy.
I want to know, Jeremy, I got a question. You said that earlier you were saying that you're a functioning alcoholic. You drive to work drinking a beer sometimes. Do you have the shakes in the morning time, or is it to clear the thoughts?
No, I don't get no shakes or nothing like that.
So it's just to clear the thoughts in the morning time?
It's just something to drink.
Just something to drink. You like the taste of the alcohol.
It's probably just like water. Here we know he doesn't drink water, so it probably is just like you want something to drink, you go grab your beer.
Okay.
Now, do you? It's cold and it'll stay cold until I get there or whatever.
All right.
Hey, Jeremy, I do want to say this though for you, Bubba. Don't feel attacked, man. Don't feel on the spot, because
I don't on the spot, but
okay.
I hold myself accountable. Gotcha, I hold myself accountable to this, Bubba. Is that I will not touch a drop of alcohol until after noontime,
or until you're on Waylon's important show.
Exactly.
And then you just keep it. You know what? The only thing I can say about you so
I brought
far.
a 5-pack for this shit.
Yeah, you better get some caffeine too.
I don't have a limit for like stuff like that. But here's the thing: like, I moved to Florida like what was it, 9 years ago?
Yeah.
And I'm with my wife, and we got married, and like 3 years later, she died from alcohol.
Sorry to hear that.
Condolences.
And here I am, like a fucking dumbass.
So
that just
you said that you didn't have a limit.
Is.
Yeah, that's to say how hard addiction is. You said you didn't have a limit. Like, you don't set a limit to how many beers you drink a day? It is what it is.
You just keep going? Question mark.
Sometimes though, when you do
I didn't know that was a question.
Well,
no,
some people,
for me.
like when I was addicted to meth, I still to this day,
I've never been addicted to like drugs. Like I understand like cigarettes and beer and stuff like that.
Yep.
Like I've done everything under the sun. Like, yeah, I've done cocaine. Yeah, all that shit. But like I ain't never been addicted to that. None of that. Like I never woke up in the morning and like, oh, I need some more of that. No, that's stuff. It's not even beer. It's just there.
Just a drink that's there. Because like with a pack of cigarettes, most people try to set it a pack a day. They don't want to smoke more than a pack a day.
I don't even wake up and smoke a cigarette first thing in the morning. Yeah, I smoke cigarettes. But like, I'll take a shower, drink a cup of coffee, and as soon as I get in my truck, I'll smoke a cigarette. But I don't like wake up and start smoking cigarettes.
So I think the question, Jeremy, is like, do you have do you buy I know you buy tall boys, but do you buy like 30 a day and that's what you drink that day, or do you just go to the store a few times? Like it doesn't matter.
Fucking depends. Sometimes I buy fucking 3 or 4 30 packs.
My question, Jeremy, Big Dog, if you woke up and there was something other than beer that was cold, would you turn around and pick that over the beer?
I mean, if it was like sweet tea or something, I'd drink it. Yeah.
What about, agua?
Yeah, water.
But, I don't drink water, no. Definitely.
I think
I already know he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't. He's not a water.
And you know why he don't drink water? Because fish fornicate in water.
Fish emulsion's supposed to help you grow. So isn't that good for you then?
I'm sorry. You're right, Melanie.
A little something extra, right? So
A
Valerie's
little
got a
extra
good point.
protein or whatever. I don't know.
Ricky,
I think you had something to say, but I wanted to point out Valerie's comment though. We want to talk about this after what you say. Go ahead.
No, I wanted to say sometimes you were asking about the counting thing. That makes it worse because the person I'll tell you about was pills. And if there was 3 left, now it's already like, how am I going to get after this? How am I going to get it? And now it's already, they're in the behavior of when they don't have any, they're already in that behavior. So because you're counting and you're like,
you already start the withdrawal.
You've done it 100 times
mentally. Yeah.
It makes it worse because you have a mania about it, when you're low. Like it was, and then everybody else, what she did anyway was kind of made it everybody's problem then. And then it's, it's crazy how you counting it could just make it worse because all you're thinking about is oh no. It's like
weed too. With cannabis, the same thing. If you're low and you don't have any money, you can't get more. You're like, what can I scrape together?
Jeremy,
is there Parmesan cheese in the carpet or something?
Yeah.
Oh
Jeremy,
my God, those days.
Jeremy, can I make a covenant with you right now?
What's happening? We want to put. We're gonna put. Hold on. We're gonna put Drunk Colt up on. Hey, we're not that drunk.
We're not that drunk. No,
we lost somebody.
Jeremy. No, Jeremy, no. Come on.
He said you ain't making no covenant with me.
He's not making. No.
Speaking of the counting thing, though, going with that is, I when I was on the meth and cocaine and truly addicted, I said, "Oh, I'm not addicted. I'm not doing more than an 8-ball a day. As long as I don't do more than an 8-ball, I'm good. But if I do more than an 8-ball, I'm an addict. Yeah, that's a drug problem."
Excuses is what it's
I had
called.
a bad day, so I did an 8-ball. But it's only going to be today, and then the next day you do an 8-ball.
Right.
I have to because I kept up with yesterday, and then it's
Yep.
And
then it just kept going on. You're like, oh no, it's not a big deal. It's good.
That goes back to where someone had, I don't remember who, someone had said, counting makes it worse. When you have that 30-pack of beer and you go and get more, are you going, fuck, now I'm an addict?
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like, shit, did I just go over that limit?
And then Melanie, you saying...
You start to think, do I slow down and drink less so I have it longer? Do I drink it fast and just we'll figure it out from there? Or all of these things you're working in your head that it's actually why I think recovering addicts are some of the best people because they've gone through all that stuff and they know what it's like to with everything. And they're all hustlers because they have to every day to get their thing. They have to figure out how to get it.
No,
I think part of it is that counting. It's constantly you're counting in your head. How many hours does this many beers make, or how many hours does this many, or how can I get this with this? It's all of it is just nonstop. But you're putting all that energy into this one thing. It's crazy.
So Diz, check this out, and Waylon would attest to this. Being in the military, there wasn't a number. Being in the military was, look, I'm just trying to erase something.
Oh, I imagine.
Right before a 10-mile run, a 5-mile run, there was something trying to be erased. And we would usually just pound back whatever to keep up. And now that we're out, it's like, this is my lullaby. This is my narcotic. This is my nicotine. Matter of fact, this is my addiction now.
What?
Alcohol.
Yeah, but it probably was while you were in, though, too.
Right, when we were in.
And that's how it started.
And that's how it started. And only until one of two things. Did you get submitted to some type of outpatient Alcoholic Anonymous clinic while you're in, or you got out, never got tied up in it, and now you either one of two things, disappeared from it, or it is your lullaby, which has turned to mine. You, Waylon, vice versa.
That come to it, because that's
Jeremy. Welcome back. Now, may I bring up that covenant again?
Oh boy. Let's hear the terms. And
I think he just wants permission, and all of us are silent. Everybody's like, "You're Waylon."
I'm mildly curious. So Jeremy, you don't listen. You don't have to say anything unless the lawyer's present. Wait until he says his spiel, and we'll decide whether it's worth it. And we'll all do a vote on it. Let's hear it, Colt.
Okay. So this is also going to help me. So this is
see, that's
selfish. Yeah, there's always the selfish part.
Keep on keeping on. No, it's that accountability buddy.
Yeah,
I mean?
Absolutely.
So Jeremy, I catch you on several social media sites. How about I make this covenant with you, and you can agree or
use a different word.
Either way. How about you and I will share our drinks?
Nora, 50 stars. Thank you.
One day a week.
That sounds awesome.
Just one day a week will we share drinks. Any other
I thought
day,
this was going a whole different direction.
Hands or something.
Start a lot. We'll go first.
Keep on, Waylon.
Keep on, back door.
I respect you, bro.
Okay, can I start the side bets now? This is where I come in. Side bet.
Yeah.
Can you guys please be quiet? We're trying to have bromance here.
My bad for interrupting you, Jeremy.
That's good, Jeremy.
So 1 day a week, Jeremy, you and I, let's pick. You'll pick the day. 1 day a week will we have alcohol cross our lips?
Wow, you're gonna go straight to that.
You're gonna go straight from every day, all day to 1 day.
You guys are gonna become such good friends. You're addicted to each other.
Okay, you guys can talk
amongst yourselves. Gonna be crossing y'all's lips. I don't know.
And I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious, Jeremy, because I've got you on all social medias. I'm gonna send you my phone number, and hey, how you holding? Water, sweet tea, Snapples, whatever it is. Accountability buddy. Let's do it. Yeah.
Jeremy, could you go from 7 days to 1 day?
1 day a week. Can you not allow the alcohol to cross your lips?
Why don't you start with 6? Why don't you start with 6?
Right.
And then go to 5.
No, he's saying just 1 day to go 1 day without drinking.
No, he's saying 1 day that it can
only
cross
1 day a week you can drink.
Insane.
Oh,
you
damn.
can drink, yeah. 1 day, so from 7 days to 1, I think is extreme. And
I thought you said we were gonna go live drinking.
So Waylon,
I thought
that's what he was saying. Yeah. Cool.
What do y'all think?
Talked about withdrawal, and he would go through withdrawal if he went straight to skipping.
He works on roofs.
I would say start with 1 day a week that you sit there and drink Snapples and stuff and doesn't drink, and then you take it to 2 days and you make it. But
I don't even say that.
I like that.
I'm gonna say less
week,
than that.
He's gonna be sitting there waiting for that 1 day, like it's a a dog waiting for the mailman or something, like sitting at the front. Like, that's what
even if you drink 1 day a week, you can still be that alcoholic. But I want to hear what Jeremy has to say to this.
Yeah, please, Jeremy.
Can I put you on big screen?
Yeah, please, Jeremy.
I want to know if a big screen will do that to me.
That's why. That's why I asked, because he didn't.
So I want to know your stipulations
do it like
on
what
this
agreement.
agreement.
We're only gonna drink 1 day a week.
Now that is extreme. So I hear everyone's input. That's very extreme. Going from every day from sun up, sun down. That is extreme.
I don't think I couldn't do it. I don't believe that I couldn't do it. I mean, it'd be probably pretty stressful for me.
So how about 3 days a week? And that's a 7-day span.
Are you going to do this too?
That'd be more doable.
Okay, Cole, do you drink 7 days a week?
But I who's going to sit here? Who's going to sit here and drinking me those 3 days though? That's what I'm going to need somebody to drink.
Me.
I want to say too, like, if it's like you're doing every other day, that day he's not drinking, he's going to be miserable. Like if you do it every other day, like it's almost like
it's not really like that.
Start with 1 day and move
with
it
me,
because
it's not like that. Like
the reward.
I can go days without drinking. It's just that's just not true.
But Jeremy, you're not listening to Diz though. Diz is 100% correct because you're going to come off of it heavily. And then every other day you'll be like, oh, I just want to sleep.
Or
Diz has a point.
Goes wrong. You're like, I can't even have a fucking beer today either. Like,
or even waiting till after 5 p.m. Waiting till a certain time.
Even that,
where you're home and you're not. I mean, for me, that's just because I care about you and your safety. But
so let's make a covenant. What's a fair covenant, Waylon? What's a fair covenant for 2 individuals? Because I drink.
You're missing the easiest, the simplest thing, bro. All you have to do is become each other's sponsor. And and the 12-step program has been around a long time for a reason. It actually does help a lot of people. And that's because of that constant contact. What I suggest is what's up, Steve-O? So what I suggest is you guys go live together or you spend, you cut out a block of time, a couple hours or something on 1 day a week where you don't drink while you're socializing, because that right there, getting yourself used to socializing without it, I think would be a huge because it's a social thing.
I respect that more than you know, and that's a very sound doggone judgment. What you got, Melanie?
When I first was diagnosed with it, when I first got the pancreatitis and I was told, I couldn't drink anymore, and I also really couldn't eat. That's when I realized that every social gathering, every date, every time you get together with a friend is let's have drinks or let's go have a meal. And I realized how much of our socializing is really, circled around food and alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's why I wanted to open. I'd love to open a dry bar, or now a smoking bar. But
we had an oxygen bar once, but I never went to it.
We have those here.
The next show we're going to be having a dab bar. So anytime somebody said stars, like 100 stars or more, everybody will take a dab. So
that's a good idea. That's not a bad idea. I was
interested in stars, but I'd fucking back out of this shit because I don't know.
I'd be buying stars to send to myself. I'd be like, oh, another one. I need another.
I love you, but I don't know how to fucking do that shit. So
I appreciate what you're doing, buddy. Keep it up. I see your work, bud. I've been keeping up with you, and I think you're doing good. So I hope I see your frustration too, man. So I hope you keep your head up and remember that everybody's watching, even if we don't have time to give you feedback and stuff. No, I just mean our friend Ima. A lot of us know him. He can he puts out posts sometimes that shows his frustration, and I feel for him, but he's out there trying to figure out the best possible methods on making edibles and medicinal foods mostly. I think, I don't know if he's doing RSO, but I put you up there, Jason. I thought you had more to your story that you were wanting to say. There's a little bit of an echo. Steve-O, do you have a you just said that?
Yeah, it's there. I'm not sure where it came from. I was trying to figure out.
I wanted to say quickly to Melanie.
Let me mute you for a second. Go ahead, Ricky.
I wanted to say to Melanie's point about the social thing. My wife beat cancer twice, but to get off it, she was on pain medicine, and that was harder than the cancer. But once after she tried a couple times. She did, by the way. She's great now. But
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, she beat addiction once, and every once in a while, me when I say something stupid. But she said, like, when she had the cancer, she felt feeble, and then, like, you know, she always felt judged, so she didn't go to the gatherings and stuff. And then when she took the pills or whatever, you know, she avoided all that. But then when she got off it, like, the reason she kind of wanted to go back to it was like the family gatherings or showing her face, because now she doesn't know with that. So the anxiety of it is like, she just wants to go back and do that. Like, it's so bad that she doesn't want to deal with it and wants to throw it all away to go back. So yeah, the social thing it's surrounded by it in a good way, but also it's in a bad way, because you're worried about being it's the thing that could send you right back because you had a bad night out there.
It can make you or break you if you let it.
And social anxiety is a real thing, you know. So a lot more people have social anxiety than people believe, or than people, you know, would believe. So just getting through that, I get it. Yeah, I personally get it. I've been sick a lot in the last 9-10 years. So I spent a lot of time in my house or in the hospital. So the longer I stay in my house, the harder it is to get back out and be around people. So I get that.
So I'm not trying to discredit that. Congratulations to your wife battling everything that she has gone through. That is fantastic. And I've got so much respect for her and you battling with her. Let's not discredit that. Yeah. Because you've been by her side to battle with her. This one, next comments, is specifically for Jeremy. Please get a pen and pad, sir.
Oh, God. Everyone else, you can take a 5-minute break. Well, no, I'm just actually, Colt, can you save that for a minute?
Yeah, of course.
Because we got Steve-O that came up, and I feel bad about
my man.
I'm going to unmute you again, and we'll see if that echo's gone. But I do want to see how you're doing, and I want to hear any story that you have. Since all of us have already been talking for quite a while. There is still an echo, buddy. Is your phone sitting on the tabletop?
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yep. Okay.
Testing. Yep, it's better.
Yeah.
Steve-O, by the way, your beard, I'm jealous.
There's a
He's gonna go shorter.
Turn the volume down a little bit, Steve-O.
Nobody says that about my beard.
We love your beard. You know that.
I love your goatee, bro.
That might help.
That's not a beard. It's a goatee.
It's a lot better. So, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing well. I just I had one thing to add. I think there's a difference between addiction and dependency, and you probably covered that earlier when I wasn't around.
A little bit, yeah.
I have a short, quick story. A little while back, I go to pain management because of several reasons, and I threw away my pain prescriptions, the paper, by accident. And that was a big deal. And I came to find out that I depended on them more than I thought, and I ended up cutting myself way back on my own because of that. And I actually learned a lesson and figured out that I didn't need as much as I was taking. And now I'm decreasing it. I just saw them the other day, and I even had them take away some. So I'm trying to get off of them just for that pure dependence thing that I felt, because I was freaked out I wasn't going to have them, and I don't like that feeling. So, and I think that I'm lucky that I can wean myself off like other people, and that's why they turn to drugs.
Well, that's willpower, man. The fact that you did that on your own without being told is
fuck pharma, bro. You can do it.
Well said, Diz. Well said, Diz.
Yeah, because my wife, she didn't want to go to like rehab or anything. She did it on her own when she was ready to. I mean, we begged her for years, but she did it on her own. I told her, like, I don't know how you're doing, because there's no that, like you said with AA, it works because of the camaraderie and stuff. So you had nobody, like, I mean, obviously we were and stuff, but we weren't in the throes of it. So I have no idea really what she's feeling. I mean, I'm an empathetic person, but not that empathetic. But so she has nobody really that understands anything she's going to, and she still muscled it out and did it herself. So the fact that you did that on your own is, I mean, that's crazy, man. Like, it doesn't happen often. So
some people can, some people can't. Yeah, exactly. Some people can, some people can't do that.
No, I went through the same thing over wisdom teeth, oxys and everything like that for the pain management, and they gave me 100 pills per pill.
For wisdom tooth?
For wisdom teeth, all 4 of them.
That's a lot of pills. That's a lot of oxy. Not in California. You're lucky to get 5.
It was oxycodone and another codone that they wanted me to. No, not acetaminophen. It was another codone that was as powerful as oxys. And
OxyContin also.
They wanted me to every 6 hours flip. You take oxy here and you take the other one here, and I found myself 3 days.
Pain.
You found yourself addicted to 2, right? Because that's all it does not keep you addicted from what it addicts you to.
Exactly. In 3 days in, I found myself, and this is while I was in the military. I found myself desiring to take more because I wanted that high. And as soon as I found myself desiring that, I said, "Oh, to the hell no!" And popped both the doggone. I had easily 90 plus on both bottles, and dumped them in the toilet, flushed it, and dealt with the pain.
But see, okay, I gotta say something real quick about that, and you brought up a good point. Just a side note, you guys, don't ever do that.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess it's good temporarily to get out of your sight, but flushing a bunch of water. Yeah, and there's a lot of problems going on. They're finding out that, and this is a complete derailment, but they're finding out that birth control is for one is a substance that Steve-O, I'm gonna mute you until you want to talk. You can unmute, okay? Just so I don't hear the reverb. Yeah, it's just a little bit that's kind of hitting me. But anyway, they found out that birth control doesn't dissolve fully through your system, or doesn't absorb into your system, and it's getting into the water supply. So it's interesting because that's changing us chemically without us being, addicted or without us
our permission.
Yeah, without our permission. Yeah. So it's very weird the way we're all connected,
that's new news to me. I did this back in 2009, where I dumped them. Back in 2009, I dumped both of them and flushed them. And this is what Waylon was saying is new news, that this could be dangerous, doing just that. So don't take the route that I took to get off of it, you could easily go to your doctors and say, no, screw you.
Yeah, I didn't mean to bust your chops. I just meant that's a good time to pull. That's a teachable moment, you know? Yeah.
I didn't feel like you were like chastising him or anything. It was just like, hey, by the way, don't,
Well, Colt's a few white girl shots in deep, so he might be taking offense,
Oh no, hell to the no.
If you do find yourself in that position, I think every pharmacy will take the medicine. Any hospital, there are drug banks or whatever they call them, where you can, and they do it for like people pass on, and there's a shit ton of medicine. You don't want to flush all of that, get it all in the system, but that way they can dispose of it properly.
Waylon, if I may, Jeremy, to go back to what I'm saying, you got a pen and pad?
You got to leave this guy alone.
That
was too extreme.
I want to make sure that he has this.
Well, no, don't be giving out your personal information.
You guys talk amongst yourself. We're having a bromance here.
Bubba, my phone is set up particularly for a reason that there are only a select few that I allowed to come through for messages and phone calls. Everything else is blocked unless I allow you.
Yeah,
so I'm okay doing
use your
this.
number in other ways.
That's what you tell all the ladies.
Right.
This particular number,
I'll give you the code.
This particular number, I guess you could call a VPN number. So though it is saved as my number, it's not my real number.
You can
you could just
send
message
me
him.
a messenger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you trying to give it out?
I will send you my personal.
You could put it,
Jeremy.
I want people to be all creeping on you and stuff.
Yeah, that just doesn't feel right, bro. I'm not gonna.
Y'all don't be creeping on my man, bro.
So I won't do it just because it doesn't feel right for y'all. But Waylon, everyone else, I actually got my degree in 2 different aspects: IT and audio engineering. IT, it is not hard to cover your tracks, which is a VPN. So people try to ping you in your phone number or your IP or things like that. You can cover your tracks well beyond what you know. And people think that you're in Australia, though you're.
I'm thinking something way more simple, bro. So somebody could go on a form somewhere, write your name,
like you said,
put
don't
your
be
phone
trying
number,
to stalk my man.
And they could say, "Oh, this is hello." They could be like, "Hello, I'm Colt Montgomery."
No, you can actually create a fake number, and it is just a blanket over your real number.
I know what you're saying.
You're teaching a bunch of guys how to cheat right now.
Right. Well, you're talking
exactly.
You're just talking about layers of encryption. Yeah, it's just another layer.
Jeremy, I will direct message you momentarily.
Awesome.
I'm going to hold you to that covenant. We're going to sit down. We're going to talk about a day that we just social drink some Snapples.
It has to be Snapple.
I want
to be. Yeah, that we can just like have a day where we don't have to drink, you know.
Well, I want to say earlier too, you asked him if he had cold water. If he had a cold water, if he would drink it over the beer. But I think there's something to like having a beer that it's almost like, I get like when you have a long day, you come home, you have a beer. Like a lot of times I don't even drink much, just something to having it.
Yeah.
Same with my wife. She gets in the car, she lights a cigarette. She doesn't even know she does it. I think it's something too when you're doing something
force a habit,
relief, or it's like it gives you a feeling almost having it in your hand, like before the actual physical addiction. Sometimes it's that alone can at least lull you a little bit
or substitute.
Yeah.
No, I feel you, Diz, and you're absolutely correct. That couldn't be more correct.
So maybe you guys, could we say that there's a way to like step down your addiction with lesser addictions?
Yeah, water.
And then you keep stepping down. Well, you're a cold turkey fuck, aren't you? Like you just like dump $300 worth of pills, and then
I think there's definitely a way, but like Elisa says right here is you have to want to quit.
Yeah. They do say fruit juices and stuff because you still get the sugar, and I believe it's a lot of that detox is the alcohol, which ferments into sugar. All that breaks down, and we are getting a lot of sugar from it. So that is one thing
maybe in my case, I shouldn't have to drink every fucking goddamn day. Maybe I should just have to drink on like days that mean something, like dinner drinks and like thirsty Thursdays and shit.
But like you said too, Jeremy, is
instead of the amount of days, it's maybe the amount per day, because like I said, those days that you're not doing it, you're going to be miserable. Because
you gotta find something to take your time. Like Jeremy was saying earlier, if he could find something else to occupy his time, then it's a different story.
That's also what we were talking about, though, is Melanie was describing this. This is where our minds begin to focus on, well, how many that it doesn't make me such an addict. Now you're focusing on the number.
Yeah,
so how much more beneficial is that?
What I'm saying is
I wouldn't even adjust it as a problem. It's just I do it too much. That's the problem. Too much is the problem. Doing it is not a problem.
One day at a time.
My point is you're going to be you're going to have a shittier day right when you wake up, no matter what, on the days you're not allowing yourself to drink. So maybe you do like one beer, whatever other drink you like, right? Instead of every one be a beer, because then you're already cutting that down by half and you don't even realize it.
That would be
bad. Or you go get non-alcoholic beer and I mean, I know it's swill, but 1 and 1. So you're still getting the sensation, but you're not hitting your body as hard.
I'm not a raging alcoholic like that. Like I don't like.
What I'm saying is but if you're saying you drink too much, your problem is not drinking. It's just that you drink.
I do drink too much.
It's not that you're a raging alcoholic. It's just that I think your body is to the point where it's definitely there. So cutting it off. So, even if you cut off sugar or caffeine, if you cut that out, you're gonna have a hell of a time of it.
So let me ask you a question, Jeremy. Do you want to? Did you ever bring up that you felt like you wanted to cut back in any way?
We're just
or did you just happen to mention at some time that you drink like every day, all day? I mean, and we all pounced on you. I hope that's
just the assholes that,
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, and he cracked a new one.
Budweiser is like they call it a pork chop in a bottle.
Yep.
Or in a can, I guess, right?
Pork chop in a can.
So you're not an alcoholic in the respect that you are stumbling around. Just drag the box, Jason.
No, it's not me. I've been drinking all fucking days.
Oh.
I mean, I can tell when you've been drinking more.
I'm in here and talk stupid shit, and I kind of act stupid, but I'm not like.
You never assault people or go to the bars and get kicked out.
Pulling out my gun and shooting people or nothing like that.
Like we said, you're functional, right? But to our point, that seems a little excessive. I guess to most people to be able to wake up and then drink all day long. And that sounds terrible. It sounds very judgy of us, but I'm not telling you to slow down. I'm just telling you that at some point it might.
It comes down to making sure you don't take other people's inventory.
Yeah.
So to step into Jeremy's corner, the whole reason this topic got brought up is because I want to make a covenant with you.
Right.
This covenant. Just spit it out.
Let's link up DMs. Let's pick a day to stop.
You want to just stop? What we just said the best way, and your best way too, buddy.
Slow down.
Slow down.
You just cut down a bit.
Right, you cut down one day to not like host a live where we're only drinking Snapple.
Well, we're gonna call our live "Hit the Brakes."
You don't need a sponsorship from Snapple at this point. I'm just saying,
dude. That's a good idea. That's a good idea, Jeremy.
We don't call live. Hit the brakes.
Yes, I love that name. That's a hell of a name.
Also,
Hit the brakes.
like, you're not like, and not to like sound weird, but like my dad was an alcoholic. When he was in the throes of it, I mean, he was red faced. He like you don't look any of that at all. And I don't know if that's everybody, but a lot of people I've seen that were like my friends' parents that were at the bar every night. They always were like red in the face and like puffy and stuff like that. So
I don't drink liquor.
Diz,
better, or maybe it'll just hit you all at once. I don't know. Like,
hey, Diz. So I respect that, and that's not the first time I've heard it. Let me let you know what my weakness is. I have already gone through 6 of 12 fireballs just in the shots in one night, on top of 8 Jack and Cokes with an 80% Jack Daniels mixture just tonight, and I started at 2.
See, I'd be
can
in
you
prison.
put docs up there?
I'd be in prison 2
I think
times.
that's an important comment. I didn't mean to cut you off at all. I tried to wait for you to finish, but I think this is an important comment, because this is what we were just saying, is we do feel like we all just kind of went, oh, just quit like this, just quit like that. And that's when we said, did you ever even say anything about it? And you really didn't.
It's not that easy. Just to quit is not that easy.
And that's what I'm saying. For us to take his inventory is not fair.
That's why I
wouldn't want anybody to take mine.
I don't remember how it started. That's why I was like, wait a minute, what is this? Like,
so I can boldly say this, y'all. I can boldly
not don't do it on days, because I just I don't like, if you do it, it does something for you, makes you happy, and doesn't ruin your life. Good on you too. I was just saying, instead of, if you were gonna do it, don't do this many days to this many less per day, because it's a lot less dangerous.
Well, that brings up a good question, Doc.
I'm not saying I should.
Jeremy, buddy, please. Do you think intervention is a bad thing? Jeremy, trust me. You've already, we definitely overstepped on you already. So you have all the room in the world to be upset. But what I want to know is, do we think intervention is a bad thing? I didn't watch the show, but I will tell you this: if I have a relative that thinks it's a good idea to cut a few fingers off because they feel like, hey, I just don't think I need these fingers, or if they feel like they should wear, biker shorts when it's negative 40 degrees outside, like there are signs where, like, there's a line somewhere, right? Everybody has a line where they might step up and speak about something to someone that they care about. So where is that line for you? Maybe it's different for everybody. So how do we go about helping one another, but also letting each other live our own lives? And that's where we come across the American political system. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I think it has a lot to do, just like anything, with how you approach it. If you're going and saying like you're cut off if you don't get clean, they're not going to do it, because they're going to rebel against you anyway. But if you get a bunch of people who have done it and say, like, I understand what you're going through and can help, that would be different than a bunch of people who've never been in the throes of what they're doing saying, quit or you're done. So,
but listen to me for one second. Colt came across it in a very like different way than you could ever even think about it, because he's asking me as an alcoholic, because I'm an alcoholic. He's asking me for one day, can you stop drinking with me? So he's asking me, one day, can you stop drinking with me? So we can slow down this shit. Okay, because he knows he has a problem. He knows he is an alcoholic. I know I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
Maybe we can slow this shit down. It's not. We're not kicking at each other's teeth or nothing. It's just, look, bro. Me and you can hang out. We can have a good time, and we're alcoholics, and we don't have to do that.
But I don't feel good. I don't feel good about myself because of how much whiskey. I don't drink beer. I drink whiskey. Whiskey.
My dad used to, whenever he would order a beer, he'd order a shot of whiskey. He wouldn't drink it without it.
Yeah, right. And you know why I want to stop, Jeremy? You know why I want to stop? And to have that accountability buddy, you, Jeremy, why I want to stop is because it's starting to affect my memory. And I can see it.
a reason to slow down, to stop, to know your limits, to like, look, that ain't what it should be.
And that's why I want to make that. That's why I want to make that.
That's
that
good.
covenant
That's good
with
to have.
you.
Yeah, I respect
Pat.
that.
There, thank you,
I
thank you.
respect
That
that.
Pat. I want to make that Pat with you.
I respect that a lot.
I'm glad you two just had that conversation, because I do felt like we might have crossed the line towards intervention, but I also felt like as addicts, recovering addicts, however you want to put it, we were also just having a conversation. So it could have been taken both ways. And they both had admitted prior to this conversation to both having where they drink all day. So I feel like it was an open discussion, and I'm glad that he's not taking offense to it, because it really can go either way.
When we were talking, I wasn't thinking about him at all. Like, I was just in the conversation. I was just it was leading other places. I wasn't thinking about one particular person. So in my mind, we were already off him. It was just, the conversation was leading there, and it was interesting. So
you know what disgusts me as a person. Jeremy, I'm not saying this is how you feel. This is how I feel, and this is why I wanted to make that pact with you. I see another grown man, another brother that has a similar addiction, and I encourage everyone else in the chats to find another brother or sister that has a similar struggle. We'll call it a struggle. Let's take the stigma out and call it a struggle. I found another brother that has a struggle like I do. The alcohol helps to keep my military demons away. And I find myself smiling, but I also can find myself 3, 4, 5 days without it in the same breath. And I'm not tripping. I'm not doggone angry. I'm not rah. I'm not causing chaos.
Well, what makes you go back?
What makes me go back is because I enjoy the feeling it brings me.
Repetitious. It's repetition. This is what I'm used to.
Yeah. I enjoy the happiness. I enjoy that my anxiety is gone. And when I drink, I can communicate with just about anybody. When I drink, I can smile on purpose without having to force it. When I drink, I can not feel the immense amount of pain that the military has privileged me with. So let's talk about why.
But
do
you
I
agree
go back?
that you agree that it's a crutch, though. I
mean,
that's
absolutely, sir.
So that's, I think, like Lisa had said something. Alcohol's Anonymous. The first step is admitting that you have a problem. Well, that to me means that you think that you have a problem. Other people can't tell you that you have a problem. Now, Jeremy did say, I'm an alcoholic. He said those words. Now, does that mean he thinks that he needs to change? It doesn't know, but he's at least acknowledging himself. And to me, I will tell you, I'm addicted to cannabis, and I probably I know there are downsides, but to me, they're the downsides outweigh, or I mean, the good sides outweigh
the downside.
No, the good sides outweigh the downside of not having it, of me not using it, because I've done both things, and for me, my anxiety makes me think of so many things at once that I will sit still and not move.
Paranoid.
No, I don't really get paranoid. And I don't get it off of the cannabis either. I actually, and this was a bad thing for me, and almost an addiction, you might say. When I was younger, no matter what I was, we'll say, trying or doing, I was the one that could go right up to the police officer. And, I didn't look like this, obviously, but even with the facial hair, well, no, I just mean the facial hair makes me look kind of like a cop. But the thing about it is, well, but my point is, no matter which way I looked, I could be straight and go up and talk.
You could communicate. You're just a social person. You're a social person.
Yes,
like
but
me,
to your point, Jeremy, it made me
people
functional. I was functional, so I thought, well, if I can, successfully talk to a police officer and get out of a ticket when I'm tripping on
Then you crunched on it.
You probably have, because like I said,
we won't say whether I did or not.
Jeremy, I hear what he's saying. You not necessarily crushed on it, but it's like, okay, so I can, in your mind, function and communicate better. So you told yourself in this.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, I'll say my wife.
You said, I don't think I heard everything because I was looking at my pimp comment.
When you were on the cannabis, you felt as though you can function and communicate more clearly.
I can shoot 40 out of 40 targets downrange with an M16 when I'm only doing it once a month with cannabis in my system at high amounts.
Yes, and that's what I feel when I'm on liquor.
But this is the other thing, guys. The NBA has fought to take cannabis off of their drug test, but other people consider it a performance-enhancing drug. And I actually do too. I love to smoke before going to the gym or working out.
Hold on, Jimmy.
It numbs a lot of certain receptors and things that it just lets you kind of go, and you can sort of push harder through things that you don't. And there's a numbing effect to it, the medicinal side, right?
Mentally,
some people consider it a performance-enhancing drug. It can also make you focus more because you have less thought processes going on.
Depending
you have
on
little
the
brain
strain.
farts, but. Well, that's true. That's true.
What's fucking Saturday? What's Saturday on? They're saying it's inhabitable, or it's
the culture is going to push it to not be testable. They're going to take it off of the. I think they either already did or they're going to. I read.
The only reason I don't have a medical card. The only reason I have a medical card is Zach Harry. You got.
What's the bad? You said the goods. You said the bads are not having. There's no bad.
Legally owned a medical
the bad to what?
Hold on, Jimmy.
Well, the bad to what, Ricky?
You said, because you did correct yourself. You said the bad of not having it, but there's no bad of doing it, right? There's nothing.
Yes,
bad
there is a bad to doing it. I've always said that I'm never going to be someone who says cannabis is for everyone. And I'm never going to be someone that says it's a miracle. That's going to be. It's a miracle, yes, but I'm not going to say that it's like it just cures everything and all that. There's people that take it too far, and I'm with your brother on that. But you're right. To my point, for me, it's the downside is the inhalation of the smoke. I have allergies. I have pet allergies that I developed after having a deviated septum that the VA didn't see, and that's a whole nother story. So due to having that for years without knowing it, then I had surgery. Now I'm allergic to pets, and I have them. So my sinuses and everything is doing its best to keep up with that. And so then when I add on an inhalant or a burning plant, right, then it's, it causes me some symptoms. I have runny nose, my eyes I have literal prescription eye drops. These aren't your clear eyes to go to work and look okay. These are because my eyes need actual extra lubricant, because they actually will they call it dry eye, but actually they make a lot more. Or they
clear your vision.
Sounds gross, but they actually make a lot more water. We'll put it that way.
The reason I asked that question is because I've always seen, and maybe I don't know, you might have gone over the definition earlier, but I've always seen an addiction as something that kind of messes your life up. Like it's something that controls it negatively and keeps you from doing. So, I mean, and you see
okay. No, I get what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Everybody's body's makeup is different, and you might have just needed that for the final piece of the thing. Just like somebody might take Prozac, but the prescribing is based on that. You might have just hit it for that. It's actually
I know what you're saying now.
Waylon.
A cigarette? Ew, gross. Get that away. My mom has lung deterioration, COPD, and I have several family members that still smoke, and I just don't see why. When they've seen her carrying, had an oxygen tank, she has oxygen and all these things. But to your point, Ricky, I do like Doc's point here as well. But to your point about this, there are negative ramifications. Your reaction time is slowed down a little bit. And there are a lot more brain farts. Okay. I'm not as clear thought, but I'm also not as clear thinking when I'm not on it, because I'm thinking of so many things at once. So, and that's my defense on that side of things. But there are times when I'm like, damn it, I took too much my medicine. We'll put it. I medicated too much to clearly do a job, and that's where you have then gone beyond moderating and beyond what you need as a person, and you've gone into the recreational use of it, right?
Called a weed ban.
Everybody
exactly.
that gets
While driving the forklift. Can't do that.
Then how do you depict what Diz was saying and what you were saying, Waylon? How do you depict if an individual truly feels themselves being able to smile on purpose with no reason on alcohol?
So any substance, anything that's mood altering, if you're somebody who has, say, mental illness, depression, anxiety, all these things, naturally you're already off of your norm, right?
Yeah.
We all agree that if you've gone through trauma, the rest of your life, you may heal from it. You may become better than you are at that point, but you're always going to have a change
crutch
in yourself. Not just a crutch, but you're different than now. You've had this experience. You've had this, whatever happened. So you're already different. So in my perspective, if you're taking something to try to counterbalance that, that's what doctors are doing. That's what they're supposed to be doing. Is that's why we call it self-medication. That's why we call it self-medication. Now, alcohol is one of those things that is a toxin and
self-medicating.
Yes, but you're using it as okay. So when we say medicine, a numbing agent is considered, a medication. But that's not, to me, that's not.
And you take a certain amount of it to not go crazy. The medicine is like, if you take too much of that, you're going to get crazy too. So medicine is something that's regimented for your health or for your mental health or whatever. It's medicine. When it becomes like drugs is when you take that medicine and take way more than
that's just a legal distinction.
Hold on. Yeah, thank you, Waylon.
They are drugging us. Look at Kanye. Oh, I'm sorry. His name's Ye. Now he says they tried to drug him. They tried to get him on prescription pills. Now I believe a lot of famous people are being pushed to do that because then they can control you in other ways. And look at Michael Jackson, and he did mention that the other day on Tim Pool's podcast. And he's like, he went on a 2-hour podcast. He left in the first 26 minutes. He just popped up and left. He didn't like what was, it was kind of funny. I watched it. So, but my point is he has something to that. He's like, they want to put him on the same drug. He mentioned it that Michael was on, and that unfortunately took his life. Right. So this is the thing that we don't understand is that the opioid epidemic is going through the doctor's office.
And here we go full circle though. Opioids. Opioids. What is an opioid?
Now that's a classification through the plants that the drug is made. It's not.
Have you seen Dope Sick? Any of you?
Who
on Hulu?
Seen what, sir?
It's called Dope Sick. It's about the pharmaceutical industry and how they turned a bunch of people into heroin addicts. But like I said, my wife's dad was a heroin addict. My wife was on pills, and she was getting to that level where if she didn't stop soon, we were going to lose her and stuff. And some things happen in that show. I'll say it's one of those shows that makes me so damn angry with some of the scenes, but it breaks my heart with some of the scenes because they depict some of the things in my life watching this happen. They depict it so well that, it could have been like a silent scene, just the way you watch somebody deteriorate one way. They just hit it so right. If you're into that thing, and it actually, it's about how they took them on. They took on the pharmaceutical industry, but
nice, Charlene.
If you watch it,
Good night.
It's about that too.
Sleep well,
Less
love.
more. You know?
It's just weird because if the classification of an opioid puts you under the classification of what you take, then good night, man. Everything that we do under addiction is an opioid, if you want to call it or classify it that.
No,
Think of
okay.
it.
You're
No,
kind
not opioid. Opioid is one way. Opioid is like I think.
No, look, she put it right here.
Okay.
Opioids come from poppies.
Yeah, so I don't know what you're exactly saying there. Cole.
Because earlier, Waylon, you had pulled up. You pulled up cannabis as being ahead of opioids.
Yeah, and I did actually want to continue looking at that. Yeah, it seems
please.
It because of how many people. This is the way they're looking at it. Each one of these is looking at how many people are reported to be addicted to it, and with the cannabis.
But listen,
we got heroin number 7.
How many people's lives is that ruining by fucking being addicted?
Number 8. Hold on, Jimmy. Number 8. Number 8. Go back to number 8, Waylon. Go back to number 8. Stimulant. That is caffeine. That is your sugars. That is
Adderall.
your monsters. Ritalin, Adderall.
Hold on, it says right here. Stimulants range from prescription drugs such as Adderall or Ritalin to illicit substances like meth. These drugs are highly addictive and intense. They don't even mention the food. They don't mention the sugar and the caffeine.
I wanted to get back quick, Waylon.
Yeah,
because it's minute compared to fucking, crack and fucking cocaine and meth. Obviously.
Go ahead, Ricky.
Ricky, go ahead.
For your point specifically, because I know it's not a cure-all drug. Like I said, it doesn't do good things for me. It's why I don't smoke it. And Amanda Bynes, like she was, it brought out her like schizophrenia or whatever. Like,
that can happen.
In your case directly, you said I'm addicted to cannabis, but I mean, cannabis is giving you this thing that you like to do and preach about. It's giving you like all this stuff, and it you said it gets you
good.
Where you need to go until you take too much.
It gave me my life back, but it also is not.
So you're not addicted to it. I mean,
yes, but listen, if I don't smoke in the morning, if I haven't smoked yet, I am much more quick to anger, much more quick to, be much short fuse or less patience. I'm not smiling. I'm not laughing. I'm not making jokes.
I wouldn't call that. I wouldn't call that an addiction. That wouldn't be an addiction.
It's a withdrawal. I'm saying that I go through withdrawal.
Same concept for alcohol, Waylon.
Waylon, that is not fucking withdrawal. That is not fucking withdrawal. Okay.
It is okay. Jeremy, you're saying there are worse withdrawals. I understand, but caffeine can be withdrawal from.
It is not fucking withdrawal.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there's withdrawal from caffeine.
Withdrawals where your body goes to fucking changes that you can't fucking that you're not even understanding.
Withdrawal means your body got used to something and now you're not giving it to it. So
you can't. You have no idea what fucking withdrawals are. Okay, it has nothing to do with withdrawals. It has nothing to do with addiction.
Hey, Jeremy. I
do.
Hold on, Jeremy. Hold on.
You're gonna find out right now.
There's a lot of different kinds of withdrawals that have similar withdrawal symptoms.
I mean, I understand.
Be easy on your opinion, okay, sir?
You guys are funny. Both of you. Withdrawal,
like
the action of withdrawing.
I've seen people like fucking. Like you wouldn't even know who the fuck they are, like going through this shit.
It's what your body does to adjust to not having this thing in its system. And if your body has to adjust, I think to Waylon's point, if your body has to adjust, it doesn't belong there. Which is what I think you were trying to say, right, Waylon?
But no, I'm not saying that it because we all have cannabinoids in our system. What I mean is maybe I've taken so much that now my I maybe not a physical withdrawal, Jeremy, but a mental withdrawal
Man, I
from it.
understand that, but like a physical withdrawal, like your body, like you like be convulsing and shit, fucking throwing up, cramping, all kinds of fucking crazy shit. I've
Right,
seen
but
people
my
fucking do
counterpoint
crazy
to
shit.
that is that there's even smaller than a cannabis withdrawal, which would be like caffeine withdrawal. If you're somebody who drinks coffee every day and then you don't have it, you'll have
I don't
headaches, you'll have
see that
other things.
either, though.
That is a
That's
withdrawal as
smaller
well.
now.
I used to drink coffee every morning, and then I just started drinking beer every morning, and I
I
never
don't
really
think
did
I just
anything.
don't think you probably noticed some withdrawals can be like it can be just like headache, like you can withdraw and be cold when it's not cold.
I've had
Yeah,
caffeine
that too.
withdrawals.
Anything, and it might not
Definitely
even
gives
be
you a
a
headache.
very noticeable thing, you know. But yeah, I wasn't trying to like start something up with it. I was just saying
I'm not trying to start no shit either. I love you guys. So.
It's giving you a lot more good than bad. And sometimes, like if you stop taking like anything really, it's going to take a little bit to adjust, and it doesn't necessarily make it an addiction.
I was just making the point that like cannabis withdrawals. I don't think there's such a thing as that.
I think there is with the serotonin, at least. I mean, with what it does, what it gives you that way.
Wishing you didn't have it is one thing. But.
Hey, so let it be known real quick, Jeremy. A point is a point, but also be aware that your point is also an opinion.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, cleansing. That's what it was. Yeah, the process of cleansing.
Yeah. Yeah. So this definition is kind of really generic, but yeah, it says the unpleasant physical reaction that accompanies the process of ceasing to take an addictive. I'm cutting off part of this here. Drug. One word.
Caveat to what you were saying, Waylon, where you wake up after not having it or not doing it, where you're aggravated.
Yeah, there are signs, and I can feel the difference. I can tell.
But
so now, but now, don't get me wrong. Today, I didn't even
use my
medicate until I was like, when was that, Jason? I was on your live, and I told you it was the first hit of the day. It was like
this afternoon.
Yeah,
2:30.
That was the first time I had
for your time. Yeah.
So I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. It's just that I am finding myself less and less need of it right away, that sort of thing. And that's because I'm actually happier in my life. And we could talk about that. But I think addiction goes right along with things like depression. And addiction a lot of time is an escape, right? Mm-hmm. And an escape means that you're escaping something. And if you can find a way to be more fulfilled in life, then maybe you won't need it so much. Well, yeah, that too.
No, it's both, Jeremy.
Exactly. And that's the thing is,
some people have to escape reality.
Yeah, exactly. And I would you can just gorge yourself on TV and movies and video games till your heart's content now with all the crap
Even
that's out there.
Work is an addiction.
Yeah.
People turn work is an addiction. We didn't get to there, but this is, we're at 3 hours and 20 minutes right now, and we could go for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, we're going to wrap this up, though, for sure.
I was just trying to say, Waylon,
I'm sorry to be a pain in y'all's ass. I really am.
Okay, go ahead.
In your situation, you're proof that what could be bad for some can be good for others. So it's not necessarily like, I don't consider it for you, and not to take it away from you. Not that if I'm not labels, I don't really. But I'm just saying for you, I don't look at it that way because I don't know what you were without, but it's created so much more than it could possibly take. So
yeah, I mean, I am blessed with the situation that I am in, because if I didn't go through the process to get evaluated for disability, which I didn't for 10 years, I didn't think I was worth. But now I have the ability to sit here and do this. Otherwise, you guys would see I'm a 9-to-5er. I've never once quit my job and just not had anything going on. Where it's like, you know what, F you, I'm out of here. Never did that.
It's actually hard to do that,
right? Once you're in that cycle of job after job, and that was me. And so, yeah, I'm working hard to turn this into something that keeps me from having to go back to that, because that's going to amp up my anxiety and all of my stress, make me use even more than I am. And where I'm doing things where I'm going to work and I shouldn't be doing that and using all this. So I don't think it's a good thing.
I mean, when you don't eat, you're hungry. Sometimes you're cranky. You're not addicted to food, because you could be addicted to food too. Like, you can be addicted to food, but not addicted to food. Just
I think it's in excess. I think it's in excess.
Yeah,
like for Jason smokes an ounce a day, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and I couldn't imagine. I'd be choking my butt off trying to do that. I couldn't do it.
Jason, hands down, I couldn't do that, sir.
Go ahead.
Everybody's different. Some people love peanuts. Some people, peanuts will kill them. Right?
Did you say penis?
Peanuts.
I saw that. Oh, yeah.
I was like, here's the show. Woo!
Hey, this man said it.
We've been pre-showing long enough. Let's go. My head popped up so fast. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I'm
like some people are allergic to it. Some people need it for this. So what I'm saying is everybody's different. I think you might have just found the thing that finished the puzzle for you. You know, like this is the one thing I needed, and obviously it's got to be close to that, because you found.
I can see that.
Let me describe a couple other things. So I don't really eat. I don't really have an appetite without it. I'll tell you that much. Like, I could just not eat. And actually, when I get hungry, you guys, I feel sick. The food doesn't sound good when I'm like that. But then I've actually been doing intermittent fasting since I found out about it was from Joe Rogan show, where he had this guy on talking about how your brain actually puts out a certain chemical when you are going into starvation mode that actually helps elongate your life.
It's called anger.
But there's a thing that happens. So intermittent fasting, I started doing that. But my point is, cannabis makes me hungry, so that's great. So I try to aim that at my meals. So it's mealtime. That's when I'm going to smoke. But that's not really what happens. What happens is my cupboard has donuts and
snacks,
sweet tarts, and not sweet tarts, but Sour Patch Kids, and Jeremy, buddy. So anyway, my cupboard's full of snacks and sweets, and I, you know what, I really my go-to when I'm high, my real go-to is anything that I can eat with milk. Cake and donuts and cookies. That's my go-to. And so that's my downside there, right? Another downside is it does make me tired, man. If I'm on a live stream for 2 hours and you're sort of like feeling like you should be smoking more, because that's what people are there on those lives for. And they kind of want to see you, and sociably, and it sort of makes it actually, that's addiction too, because more people are like, oh yeah, bong rips, oh yeah, and they come into the comments and then they coax you on. Guys, I'm losing my voice. We gotta stop soon. But they coax you on and everything, and then you start smoking more, and then you end up passing out or getting really tired when you're done with your stream. And I'm taking daytime naps all the time and stuff. I don't like doing that. I feel like I'm wasting time by making myself tired, and then I'm like, ugh.
Hold on, love. Hold on, Waylon. To give you and the rest of this fantastic live a huge shout out. Thank you for hosting this. Thank you for this very opinionated and very in-depth addiction podcast in different insights of
you guys were a good visual aids.
And I thank you for that. I most definitely.
Ain't nobody here to look at my fucking dumb ass.
And I most definitely thank you for allowing me to come up and interject my 2 cents with the conversation, the topic.
You're a strong personality, Colton. I appreciate that about you, but we'll definitely see you again. And
I hope so.
Thanks for stopping up.
Like
maybe a few less white girl drinks next time. Go ahead, Ricky.
Well, it's like Jeremy said. You said, let's do something. So if nothing else, that was great, because it showed everybody, by showing them you're not in it alone, they're going to be a lot more willing to accept whatever help it is. You don't need to fix yourself. We need to fix you. And that's what you did with him. So I mean, if nothing else, that was, worth all of it. If somebody gets that,
Yeah,
made that
if you're willing
connection.
to accept it, like to each other, like, okay, well, let's do something about it. I mean,
a couple more drinks, you guys are going to be hugging even through the internet. It's going to be like, hey, man, I love you, man. You know what, man? I love, like, when I was overseas, I had my wisdom teeth taken out, and they gave me like Percocet and shit. And I had laughing gas because it was a surgical operation in a tent, right? And so then they said they send me out to my buddies in my unit to drive me back home, and I'm just like, I love you too, man.
Oh man,
yeah,
I hope there's video.
Thing. Yeah, no, not from there. I wish there was like just
wasted
paperwork. But Ricky, were you still in the middle of something?
I wanted to say quick, you were saying how like you go for the donuts and the cookies. I don't know if you ever listened to like Kevin Smith talk, because he started smoking at 37. He never smoked before. You thought it was like evil and shit.
I hate his diet, but go ahead.
He said that like the beets and shit. He says that he actually like trained himself. Like he was like, you can't or when you're smoking, you can't do this, or you like give yourself a little reward system. But like he would actually like tell himself you can't do that. So he said to prevent himself from getting lazy, he made himself right when he was smoking. So now the act of smoking
that would put me to sleep.
Go right. You know,
because you're more accountable too when you're writing it down. So I mean,
So he like fixed it slowly. He said it was a slow drip, but he slowly fixed what it did to him by making it part of a habit. Otherwise, like I said, when somebody drives and they light a cigarette, it's because they've been driving forever. And if you drive a long distance, you got a cigarette hanging, you just, it does that. So
that's kind of what I do with dinner when I try to wait until I'm going to have a big meal of the day, my first meal of the day, which is like, 2 or 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And then I make sure I, get fairly medicated, and then we have a meal. But it's the later at night. It's like the after this is going to be like,
Well, and I hate to cut you off, buddy, but I got to get out of here.
We do need to get
start my other show.
Hey, I want to really thank everybody that's watching, because you guys are amazing. You definitely have been super. What's the word?
Interactive.
Yes. I think I was thinking of something else. But yes, no, I appreciate all the interaction and all the stars, you guys. I definitely wrote them all down. And
that's great. Thank you for that.
1,700 total stars today, guys.
You kept track too, huh?
1,700. Amazing job, guys.
He thought I was going to penny
pinch stars, but every time I try, it's like kicks me out. So
to end on a positive note on my end is some of the best people I know like used to have the worst demons. So like I live my life now because my dad was, my wife was, her dad was. I live my life now by like always help if you can, because you don't like, my wife used to be this person that I'm looking at now. And if I don't help them, they're never going to get to what she is. Like, it's a great person in there. It's just something that's got them. And if you even sometimes just showing them you're willing to help them, and when everybody else hasn't, it goes a super long way. And like, you can, just by being compassionate, you can create these great people because you can help them get through it and learn from it all. So that's all. Like I said, my best, like most good people I know are at it. So
with that being said, Ricky, I appreciate you stopping by, man. I'm still going to give your brother shit because he literally said words of coming by, but he didn't promise. He didn't promise. He said, I said it's going to be addiction. He goes, oh, I better come by and say something about that.
Well, he should. I mean, he should.
I'm messing. But no, hey, before I leave, I do want to mention I am the smartest stoner this week, coming back for returning Monday. And I was going to get to that this Saturday. What are we calling it again?
Contact High.
Contact High, the one-on-one with
you're getting me high. So.
With Over on Fire in the Hole. I'll be on that. And then Jason, Melanie, what do you guys have going on?
We got 42710 smokers. Afternoon smoke sessions every day over there. Once we got a couple things going over there. We've been there a year, but we're just really starting to bring that one up right now. And Melanie has the amazing 42710 Waffle House. She does an awesome job over there at them Waffle Houses, guys. Anybody needs any products, any smokers needs, not products.
No, not
smoking products.
Accessories, apparatuses, stuff like that to medicate with. That's a fantastic place to get it. Proud to say that we are on waffle number 44, and we have some awesome people.
44. Very cool.
44.
I'm not sure what you mean by this, Elisa May, but appreciate it. Oh, this is what she was talking about. Okay, yeah. So anyway, there's nothing immediate else. Okay, and Colt, what do you got going on, buddy?
Just gonna push
You
one
got the
more
album
time.
coming out.
Yes, sir. Just
You guys
on the album.
He's a strong personality, but listen to his music. He actually kicks ass. Jeremy, I love you, buddy. Thanks for coming up. As the only
all you guys, man.
Jeremy is the only one coming up here not pushing anything, and he just wanted to hang out and share his experience.
He's pushing Shirtless Saturday.
For our thing
Saturday, that's fine.
For our thing
all right,
Saturday
guys.
on Far and Whole,
Bye, guys.
Please come in and join if you got questions. Like, if I don't know how much you give away about yourself, Waylon, but like, if you have a question you want to ask, I mean, worst you can say is I don't want to answer it. So my mind goes one way as a non-stoner. I know you do a lot with.
Hey, y'all had me, please, because I'd love to talk to you all.
I want people to ask you things they're interested in, because my mind goes a lot different than other people's. So I definitely want the interaction. It's definitely an interactive show. So please come ask questions, because
hell yeah.
I definitely want it to be good for everybody.
We're going to get everybody over there for sure. Yeah. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Next week, we're talking tattoos. Remember, give me any suggestions you guys might have. Thanks a lot. Hey,
can I do like live research during the show?
During this show?
For next week. Like, can I be getting a tattoo?
You could. That would be cool.
I would do that for your
show. I want to get a tattoo next week.
Or you could just record it if you want, and then we could watch the video, or it's up to you. Because you couldn't really
fuck that. I won't
talk about it.
What name you get on your lower back.
So I do want to mention something else, you guys. Mel, I noticed a while back, probably you started there, I'm sure, at home. I didn't know when that happened and everything. I'm glad you got home. I didn't know how long. I thought you were going to be gone like a week. Wait, are you still in is this the hospital that we're looking at?
Yeah, I have all my stuff brought to my room.
Did you bring everything? Because I know you had the corner.
But no, they let me come home. Everything is kind of evened out a little faster than they thought. So it was just 4 days this time. So thankfully I'm home and I get to sleep on my couch or in my own bed or whatever tonight.
Christmas bonus. Hell yeah. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot. Outro time. Hey, if you guys want to, if you two want to stick around for a second.
Gotcha.
I love you.